And then I'm going to share my screen. And then whatever you have a question, actually, you can use your chat window. And then also I will have another separate Q&A time after my first talk in English. And then also after my second talk in Korean, we'll have a Q&A and after that also. So we'll have a two times of the Q&A. Okay, so can you see my screen well?
Yes.
Okay, Manuel, thanks. Okay, so because the reason I'm not going to full screen is because I prepare a lot of the movie. So I cannot show you all. So I'm going to skim over something. I need to be back and forth. It will be much easier than they stay wait until the videos is at the end. So that's why I'm not in the full screen, but I made a lot in the side, so you can. I hope that you can see most of my presentation easily. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today is actually the 3 key topics. The first is Metaverse. Actually, the Metaverse is very hot topic in South Korea and even recently in the United States. So this is a new digital technology integrate with a new service and new image that people can think about it. And also I'm going to talk about the ESG sustainability. So you may heard about climate change and then globally, like we are at risk because of this like carbon emission generate climate change, like a global warming. And also I'm going to talk about digital transformation. So today's topic is integration of very important, 3 important topics: Metaverse, ESG sustainability, and digital transformation. So today's agenda is like that. So you may have seen in my presentation, I just only add something that not actually different from that I posted in my presentation. So almost our topic will be the same. So I'm going to talk about the Metaverse ecosystem first, and then I'm going to talk about ESG sustainability, and then I'm going to talk about how Metaverse can apply for the ESG sustainability. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about Metaverse ecosystem. So some of you may know well about the Metaverse, or maybe some are just heard about it, but never learn about it deeply. So I'm going to go over whole aspect of Metaverse. It needs a lot of knowledge, but because I have almost 30 years experience in this field, in the IT and in digital areas, so I did my best to deliver the whole scope in a short time. So first, you should understand the current status. Actually, I summarized the older taxonomy of Metaverse. Actually, some people like Metaverse is a buzzword, or the Metaverse is really, or is like a boom in a short time, or like a bubble, or maybe people about some concern, and some people talk about, oh, it's very good. So this is the one actually. I'm going to show you that currently what the people talk about in the United States, not in South Korea, because the reason I write down all in here is from the media and some company in the United States, not in South Korea, right? The reason is that I have been many like media or some portals in South Korea, and then I heard about they talk about a lot of the metaverse, and some worry about it's too much, and then whether it's only the Koreans insisting about this topic, but this is not. If you look at even in the United States, you have a lot of a case actually that they mention about metaverse in the media and the companies. So metaverse is not no longer the interest in the South Korea, is now in the worldwide. Even I have seen this topic in the United, not just the United States, UK and Japan and other countries that I've seen the evidence that this topic is globally interesting topic. So that's why I talk about. So, but still, you can see that there are many different ways to describe, refer to metaverse. So I just summarize everything. But if you have seen the whole different description, I have common like language in here. So I just make some same color. So you can see that the virtual space is common, and reality, this is the common, and physically persistent is common, and also is integration of the internet, and then also augmented reality, and also you can see that here is a reality is a common, and also is about the virtual space and real space environment. So all this taxonomy refer that the metaverse is related to virtual space, integrate with real space, and then the real space and virtual space actually integrate by some reality mechanism, and then this virtual space actually physically persistent, so keep going on, not one-time event. And then also in here, the people and things and environment can integrate even in virtual space and real space. So this is the why they call metaverse. It's not like we talk about universe, it's not like a multiverse. It's a metaverse because it's this universe is extension to the virtual universe. So it's metaverse. That's why that they call metaverse. And then here is, this is well like known, like how you actually you can like divide this, like illustrate this metaverse in some way. So this is well known. So many people talk about some examples, augmented reality and mirror worlds and virtual world and live logging. So augmented reality, you know, where in the real space you overlap with your virtual space, like in the augmented reality, like a wearable device or some in the virtual like a surgery in a hospital like that. And then also there is like overlap between mirror world and augmented reality here. Like in the mirror world, you have a digital twin. So exactly your real project have a twin in the virtual world. And also you can like move whole physical Earth to the virtual space like a Google Earth, like a Google Map, and then combine them like you can have a Google Map overlay with your real space. So a combination of the mirror world plus augmented reality. And also here is a digital twin. They're like a manufacturing in the car manufacturer. Actually, that they design by their virtual car, and then also people can integrate using his virtual augmented reality device. And also you have a virtual is so well known like in the game space, like we know about like Roblox, and also like a Magic Leap type. And also life logging means that the digitalization of your lifestyle, your life history, like like for example, like a combination of your augmented reality and then live logging will be like track all of your like movement using your smartphone or wearable device, and then it can be recorded automatically in the virtual space like that. So here is some example that actually prepared, but I'm not going to show everything here. So, but the reason I'm presenting here is that here I can find a lot of examples like cases in the United States and in other country other than South Korea. So I'd like to share that don't worry, that Metaverse is not only for the Korean companies. I don't think that it's not too much, because we already have in the United States and South Korea, we all have an interest in the Metaverse, not just in South Korea. That's why. But I'm going to explain later that we should be concerned about not too much, but too much for specific thing, right? So Metaverse is very diverse. And then there are many things we can do with Metaverse, but I'm just worried about is the too much is not for the interesting Metaverse, but too much is interesting in some specific part of the Metaverse in South Korea. That's why I'm raising something that to try to introduce you that the Metaverse is the global interest now.
Hi, my name is Daniel, and I'm the co-founder and the CBO of Iot Technology. We are a computer vision company from Russia building augmented reality metaverse. Arcona's surface recognition algorithm connects the real and the digital world together into a single information space, which is designed for everyday user interactive experience with multimedia content in the real world around us. Using just one single camera of any mobile device, we rebuild the digital 3D model of the world on the cloud. With the future map, we recognize the environment, position the mobile device and the content in the real world with high accuracy. With Arcona's service of remote placement of the content outdoors in changing environment, the developer doesn't need to be present in the location to merge the digital content with the real landscape. With Arcona development tools, any user without technical skills can create their own projects on fly, share it with the rest of the world by placing it remotely in the exact location in real geographical coordinates, allowing the users simultaneously to dive into the mixed reality world around them. We have launched the social network in augmented reality, where you can find the information on the digital billboards linked to the real world. Travel in time and see how the city looked like in the past, and navigate on the streets using augmented reality map. We invite the people from the virtual space and social networks back to this real world, closer to the loved ones, and give them the way to augment this reality with already habitual content.
Okay, so here is another thing.
People, vehicles, businesses, buildings, hospitals, factories, entire cities, and the billions of devices that connect us to this world and to each other. This is the physical world. But what if we can replicate that physical world into its digital twin? A digital twin that is bound to the physical world in real time, that we can experience in mixed reality, that we can collaborate with, that we can run simulations on and find what is important to us, that we can apply AI to learn, predict, and act, to save time and money, to reduce carbon, to preserve natural resources, to improve safety, to bring us all closer. This is already happening today. Across the world, organizations are taking advantage of this new wave of innovation that trends to an interconnectedness that enables the metaverse. Everything modeled in the metaverse mirrors the status of its physical twin, including the interactions and relations between everything else. By applying the power of the cloud, we eliminate boundaries of what this can do. The potential is limitless. We can now track and analyze data from connected environments to identify patterns, trends, and anomalies. We can now simulate any possibility, evaluate outcomes, determine the impact of any change or condition. We can now harness AI to perceive the physical world to improve and automate tasks, to give superpowers to your frontline workers. We can now give everyone in your organization the power to build apps and workflows, to collaborate with each other in this virtual space, to share and receive expertise at the right time with the right context in front of you, to move through the physical world and get relevant information about its digital counterpart when and where you need, using mixed reality. The Microsoft Cloud brings these capabilities together with the limitless computing power of the cloud and intelligent devices at the edge, and creates this framework for building immersive and impactful digital twin, mixed reality, and metaverse solutions.
Okay, so this talk about metaverse, and then the Microsoft integrate all of its digital solution to provide a metaverse application. I'm going to introduce later. And then also here is a
we wonder,
60-minute
just
talk
because we
about.
can make an NFT of anyone or anything,
You may
will anybody
heard
actually
about this
want it?
case
I
in
say
many
this
cases in
in a
South Korea.
humbling way.
Like
Why would
NFT
someone
can
want to
combine
purchase
with
my
Metaverse.
NFT? I mean, what is the value? Just explain it to me.
Well, think of NFTs again as memorabilia. You are now enabling everyone to create moments, and the market will determine what those moments are valued at. Perhaps you can create a JPEG of yourself in the middle of one of the best interviews and made history, and that NFT will have a value. Somebody might be interested.
Weeks later, my 3D avatar now lives in a virtual space.
I'm Lori Siegel, and I'm about to be turned into a 3D avatar. And then I'm going to be turned into an NFT. Welcome to the future of the internet.
And whether or not there's a market for her or it, there is a home. It's called the Metaverse. And it's being referred to as the future of the internet. If the current version of the web is two-dimensional, think of the Metaverse as three-dimensional. Kathy Hackle is a VP at Avatar Dimension, the company that owns this studio.
Can you explain what the metaverse is?
I think about it in the convergence of the physical and the digital, right? So to put it in today's terms, right now we have kind of a physical persona that we are in the real world. And then we have this digital persona that we're on LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok, right? So in some ways, it's kind of like converging those two. It's in some ways the next iteration of computing and the next iteration of the internet.
And it's already here. Two of the most popular games where people are spending more time are Fortnite, a multiplayer online game, and Roblox, which allows users to build their own Lego-like worlds. But the idea of the metaverse goes beyond gaming. Fortnite just added features that let players socialize with one another. These types of platforms allow users to do things they do in the real world. They attend concerts, hang out with friends, and increasingly, they spend money.
The way I explain it to people is, back in the day, like my brother and his friends would save money to buy Air Jordans, right? Nowadays, my kids who are all under 10, actually, whenever they have a special occasion, they actually ask me to buy them Robux, which is a digital currency inside Roblox, right? And they use it to buy avatar skins. And, you know, the way they look in game to them is almost as important as the way they look in real life. Like they'll meet there. It's kind of like the new social network. When they're in those games and they see their friends, they talk about the avatars and the skins they're wearing.
It's a spike that was fueled in part by global events. According to a report by video retailer Game, gamers around the world have logged more than 10 million cumulative years playing Fortnite. Roblox reported its users spending 9.7 billion hours on the game in the first quarter of 2021. That's up 98% from the same time in 2020.
What do you think the catalyst was?
The pandemic.
Why?
Because we were all thrust into, into our computers and living at home and working on Zoom and all these things, like that physical life that we had a little bit more of. We were all thrown into this virtual world, and it kind of accelerated everything.
More people attended events in the virtual world. During the pandemic, rapper Travis Scott played a concert in Fortnite. 27 million people participated.
It's this world of infinite possibilities, right? Because right now the physical world is finite. There's only so much of Earth, right? It's a lot, but there's only so much of Earth. But in these virtual spaces, you can literally build your own worlds.
Okay, and this is for the
We wonder.
Apple Glass.
When
Actually,
Google Glass came out in 2013,
they already have
they
their
were ahead of their
prototype,
time.
and
But it
Apple
didn't
is
last
going
for
to
several
launch
reasons.
this
To do
product
anything, you had to tilt your head and say,
at the
okay,
end of
glass,
this year
or
or
use the
maybe
touch
the
pad.
early next
They
year.
were also
So actually,
expensive,
this is
clunky, and most importantly,
device for
people
the
didn't know
live
why they
logging
needed them.
with
Google
augmented
eventually
reality.
reinvented the glasses as a tool
So
for
I'm not going to
professionals.
see
They're
all
not
this
sold
one. You
directly
can
to
see in
consumers. They're not
the
a
link
mainstream.
here. Okay, so you see that the metaverse include many different aspects of the integration of the virtual space and real space. And then this is not just for the game or the multimedia like in here, but they also relate to the like lifestyle, and then they also like a community and an industry. So you think about that, the metaverse application is very, very, very diverse and then very prospective. And then here is some, you can have some insight about what's going on in the United States and in the European countries. So Epic Game is headquartered in UK. Actually, there is a very famous game company, and recently they raised 1 billion fundraising. And then what's their next plan for the metaverse? Actually, what their vision? Actually, they don't talk about game. They will talk about like a foundation of the metaverse. What is the foundation of the metaverse? It's a digital twins, right? Because digital twins is well known in the like for digital expert, but actually they are the fundamentals of the metaverse. So we should include this digital twin as essential part of the metaverse. This is the one different view that actually in the United States and in the UK people look over these digital twins as a fundamental, like a foundation of metaverse, rather than in South Korea, actually the more focused on like a game or the media or something like this. So this is the one actually when you have money, then they are going to invest like a foundation of the metaverse. It's a digital twin. And then here's some explanation about why they need a digital twin needed. And also they are also investing a lot of money in the like how actually can virtualize yourself, humans. So we call it avatar. So they're going to think about how actually can put your real world to the cyber world to make a complete interaction through digital twin, and then how ourselves can be joined as a digital human in here. So this is indicated where should we go, right? In the future, that metaverse will have a lot of potential in applications in many fields, and especially I'm going to focus on today about the sustainability, actually the like saving planet, our Earth, but they also have a lot of other application other than games. So that's why that I'm bringing this presentation here. Here you may well know that the Mark Zuckerberg and CEO of the Facebook talk about they will be changing from the social network company to metaverse company. So you may have seen this one before many times. I'm not going to talk about much in here. And here so how actually the different company have seen look at the metaverse business opportunity. And then Microsoft, I already show you their promotional video. And then what they think about is like they are based on these digital twins, and then based on their computing capability, and then their like human like virtual interaction like through the like HoloLens or other augmented reality, virtual reality device, and then powered by the AI. So, and then also like sensing the real space by the IoT. So what they think about is combination of the traditional metaverse plus all kind of the digital technology. This is the one thing the global leader in digital technology companies actually think about metaverse in that direction, combining with all digital technology driving in a new different application in here. And here is Nissan, is a Japanese famous car manufacturer. Their application is more realistic and more like we think about metaverse, like you may have seen like in the famous like movies in the like representing metaverse, like, and then Ready Player One, like that. And then here is they're going to realize some part of that movie. So actually what they're doing is that they think about all the physical people and physical thing, like you have a digital twin of your car in metaverse, and also you have your avatar in here. And then what they think about is that you can join to virtual space, and your virtual reality can join as a real reality. So what they talk about is one like use case like that. This is the like for example that I'm thinking about this kind of thing, that I'm now in Boston, United States, and then I have for example, I have a very good friend in South Korea now, and then because of the COVID-19, so it's very difficult to back and forth. So I have my friend have I put my car's digital twin in the metaverse, and then invite my friend in South Korea, and then he joined my metaverse through his avatar. And then I make a suggestion that why don't we trip to some place in the nearby in Boston, and then the way actually we interact is that the person actually my friend in South Korea can join to the virtual space, but actually he has a reality. So actually he feel that he is in my car, and then through my virtual reality, he can see all the he can feel and see all the thing, and then all thing that I'm talking with me through this metaverse. And also he can join me in the physical space as augmented reality human. So his avatar will join me and then sit in my like a passenger seat, and then travel with me and talk with me. And then I feel that he's with me in the passenger seat, and then we can travel each other. This is one example that the Nissan think about what the future metaverse will be applied in their automotive applications. So I think it's a fantastic, but I'm not sure whether how much we can be realize this technology, because I will explain later there are many different type of the technology, especially AI, IoT, and other digital technologies need to be also reality technology should be have a dramatic a technical innovation required to actually make these things happen in reality, like implementing this as a real one. But anyway, this is one example case that metaverse can apply in some specific use case. And then here I just put everything that in, and then one might with the metaverse industry ecosystem. So actually the mainstream that people think about is like a game. We think about so this example talk about in somebody call the Metaverse platform, but they talk about Metaverse gateway because of this is a link between you and others. So through this gateway, actually the you and others can join to the Metaverse. So like Roblox and Geppetto and every famous the current Metaverse platform or some gateways in here. And then here is like you need like a reality way how actually the interface with your virtual space, and this is the one like a UI UX. And then also you need some social networking, and also there are two ways actually the Metaverse can be like or interoperated by the like whether it's governed by the central what is governed by the decentralized, like in the decentralized and nobody actually have a power to govern this Metaverse space. And then this case, in this case, you need in the like current state of art is a blockchain technology. So you can think about the blockchain, and also there are many other like content and then other things you require. And additionally, you need like reality technologies, so wearable device and other like how you can feel and touch, and then so there may be the all kind of the ecosystem for the reality technology. And also here is AI, IoT, and digital twin technology is also required. So the current state of this maybe this kind of the industry ecosystem can combine, but in the future it can be more, and then be more interrace. So there may be one Metaverse industry. Now is they are a little bit like heterogeneous, but in the future they will combine together. Here is another view, is a more narrow view. Actually, I'm going to introduce that how you can view the Metaverse. They look at in different ways, like experience discovery, creative economy, or something like that. Because of this one, maybe that everybody talk about like a content. Through the content actually that you generate some economic value, like an NFT or apply, or the like Gucci sell their product, something like this. So you can think about as one another like including component of the Metaverse industry, but this is another way to look at it. Okay, so this is my vision that so Metaverse today. So I think that this is very really early stage. And then you can see that is a collection of a disconnected digital world. Actually, the Metaverse, there will be multiple. It's a multi-universe Metaverse can be exist, but they are not connected. They are not interoperable now, but in the future they will be connected truly as a multiverse of this virtual space, digital world. Now is a very limited physical persistence, right? Because they are not keep going on. It depending on your platform or your network or something like that. And then also the connected physical world, people and digital representation of people. So people, and then this is avatar. But I'm talking about the proxy. So this is not complete for representing yours, right? We have a better limitation to representing humans and things. So we have like a proxy, but not complete one. And then partially interact, like we cannot interact fully, but we partially interact one another. And then also with the environment. So we call a digital proxy twin, and then limited reality. So our technology for the field of reality is very limited now, but in the future, what I call it Metaverse Next, right? Because and whatever in the future, this will be the Metaverse, full scope of Metaverse, like somebody put in some way to interpreting this one or the other, changing like a Metaverse 1, a Metaverse 2.0, Metaverse 3, whatever, right? In the ultimate version will be Metaverse Next, will be a collection of fully connected digital world with a physical persistence that are converged with a physical world in which people and digital representative people can fully interact with one another and digital object environment, including digital twins with full reality. So this is further than like for example like a Ready Player One. In the Ready Player One, actually in the real space interaction is very limited. So all people are interacting in the virtual space, but in here actually the real space and virtual space actually converge. So for example, that I explained in the Nissan, actually the virtual space can come to real space come to the virtual space, and they can affect each other, and then also can be integrate each other. So this will be the first scope. I'm not sure whether we can realize this one, but this will be the ultimate Metaverse Next. And then to talk about this vision is that if you think about this one and how you can actually realize this Metaverse Next, this require actually the different way of the digital revolution to integrate with this current state of the metaverse. That's why that we can have from this to current state to the next state, we'll have something that dramatic paradigm shift, and then we'll give you a huge potential. I think that this might be the much better, greater the effect than we talk about like a fourth industrial revolution. And then this is why I'm recently that I'm fantastic about this idea. That I really that I like this metaverse actually, and I like the Korean community actually that insisted about this metaverse is a nature, because this is huge potential, and then there will be the like a hyper connected, hyper visualized, hyper interactive, hyper reality enabled. And then to realize this one, we'll have like a combination of the all IT and technology, and then will be the paradigm shift digital revolution. This is why you need like a combination of all things and the convergence of the all like AI, IoT and the blockchain and other digital technology and network technology combined with like all the like, for example, like human brain interface and the quantum computing, and also all kind of the reality technology, not just for the touch and then you're hearing and then see and the touch and smell, every like the tasting. So combining everything, actually each part is fragmentary actually developed, and then there are a lot of the like innovators working in different space, but in the future we'll have some one direction that to build up this Metaverse Next. We'll have like a collaboration in all aspects of this technology innovation will be required. This is my vision about this Metaverse Next. And then here is something that actually that there are the current state of, for example, Soul Motion, they are developing like a human-like AI avatar. So they think about like a human, and then act like a human, and then like a feel like a human avatar can be. It can be like a dramatic like a changing in the current state of the metaverse. Actually, the human can join as an avatar as a very similar to you, and this is one thing that we can think about. Like for example, here is one.
Human cooperation is the most powerful force in human history. Humans cooperate in a constant feedback loop involving emotion, it's involving shared attention, it's involving communication, and it's involving teamwork. The next era will be defined by human cooperation with intelligent machines. We have to build computers that can understand us, and we can understand them in an intuitive manner. My name's Mark Sager, and with my team, I've been developing autonomous virtual humans and characters.
Okay, next thing is extended reality. You may think that it's more like a shoe. So you may like Ready Player One, you can see this kind of shoe. So he can feel, touch. And here is like for example, in the Metaverse like promotional advertisement. And then also they can
firm in
apply to
Beijing
the whole
has created a
cities.
complete
Actually, this
virtual
is
clone
current
of China's largest
project
city,
in Shanghai. Actually, they
covering
are
almost
developing digital
4,000
twin of
square
the whole
kilometers
city
and
of the
built using
Shanghai in
information from
China.
satellites,
And also
drones,
I've
and
seen the
sensors
many
in the real
different
Shanghai.
projects is
The
ongoing on.
digital replica
They
could
actually
soon
do
have the power to simulate events in the city's future with astonishing accuracy. Powered by Unreal Engine's photorealistic graphics, covering thousands of buildings and with the potential to impact millions of people, this is how China cloned Shanghai.
And then even that here is the one talk
Virtual
about
reality
how
still
actually
feels
the,
like it's
can
30 years
we
away.
build
How
the
come we can't
oasis
have
in
a
Ready
virtual
Player One?
reality that's as immersive as what we see in Ready Player One? Hey guys, it's Kesh, and welcome to the Future Economy. This is going to be the beginning of a series that will show you how advances in AI, blockchain, and virtual reality will lay the foundation for a decentralized future where we will have much more freedom than any other human in the history of our species. I was looking at ARK Invest's big ideas and saw some really interesting trends on there that they projected out to 2030. And some of them look like they converge. And it really got me to thinking, can we have a future like Ready Player One? If you haven't seen the movie yet, then stop this video right now and go watch it. And then come back because you're not going to want to miss what comes next. Ready Player One is a dystopian sci-fi movie set in 2045 where people escape from reality by living in a VR game called The Oasis. In the movie, they have this haptic feedback suit and this special treadmill that basically lets them run around anywhere, and they're fully immersed in virtual reality. All of these technologies don't seem like they're out of reach from today's tech. So how come we don't have fully immersive VR yet? Well, that's what we're going to explore today. In the Big Ideas slide, they show us how the global video game industry is moving toward.
Okay, so I'm not going to show you all thing, but actually we are actually in part that we already have the many part of the technology actually can building this oasis in Ready Player One, but in the we need also dramatic like technical innovation needed in other fields. So this will be the one benchmark actually the how much we can be in the like a Metaverse Next. So like every field should be innovated individually, also can be integrated way. So I think that I have enough time to spending to introduce Metaverse. Actually, I cannot show you everything, but I did my best to summarize all the aspect, all the state of art of the Metaverse and the vision of the Metaverse. You can feel that Metaverse have huge potential, and then it still is very early stage, and then it's a global effort and then global interest, not just for the Korean interest anymore. And also, okay, so I'm going to go over the ESG situation for sustainability because I know that I have some registered participant status. Actually, the almost like people are from digital technology and metaverse, and then only about 10% from sustainability and ESG area. So for the ESG and sustainability professional, this will be the well-known, and then others will be the first time or somebody heard about it, but never actually have a deeply think about this one. But this is one actually that you should know now in whether you are the digital or whether you are the sustainability, because I will explain here. You may see on that the IPCC, the UN related organization, actually they announced their study, climate change widespread, rapid and intensifying now, right? So we need to concern about the climate change, right? Because for example, there are a lot of the forest fire in the Siberia and United States and then Turkey everywhere, and then unexpected like heavy rain in China, and then unexpected like some other like a hot like a summer like weather in some actually never experienced, some actually the place actually the snow and they never experienced before. So we have like a climate change risk now, and the global warming is now. So we should worry about, and then everybody take care of these issues globally, and then even every country and every like a company actually expressed that they want to participate this global effort, and then they like announced the carbon zero mission for by when they are going to like contribute for this global effort. And this is one like we talk about the part of the E is the environment, and S is the social, and G is the governance. And then talk about is E sustainability means this climate change. But we also have like other like for example labor problem and then equality problem. We need to have like a social contribution like a poverty. So we should concern about the whole things for the like our sustainability for our next generation. So recently is a focused one, and everybody think about this is very important. Should we take care of this one? So this is the one actually, for example, Davos, and then even that the investor, a lot of the money, like almost like 1/3 of the global fund is the ESG fund, and then also like for example here that even the millennium they want to be more investing, and even the company, individual private company, they changing their goal as from the previous like shareholder interest to the stakeholder interest, like a stakeholder as capitalism realization. So this is a brief introduction about this one. And then I'm going to skim over everything because you may have seen my actually I'm looking at how actually the digital technologies can contribute this ESG sustainability. So I actually developed my code, and then I show you in my previous webinar about how you can apply AI to this ESG management and investing. And then also they can have to a lot for the your knowledge. So I developed this ESG knowledge cover like all different ways of the knowledge cover can be generated by this AI. And then also if you want, you can see I have all record in my YouTube website. And then this also I have a separate webinar, and then detail about this, how actually the real time I show you how we can generate this kind of using the AI. So I will skim over this one, but you can see my previous webinar. And then also here is for the global effort, the UN Sustainable Development Goal SDGs. So they make us 17 like different goals to like, for example, no poverty, to like for example like here climate action, right? And then here are the sustainable cities that I'm going to talk about today, or something like that. And recently they published like how actually can make a good effect. Like for example, you contribute this one, and then to actually reduce your energy like a consumption, and you're like generating the carbon like emission, and then how you can actually save your water resource, and then have like a circulate economy, like for example like waste management, something like that. And then they develop this one for specific institution, that how actually this kind can be integrated your management. Actually, I also did this webinar in my previous webinar, so you can see my recording about this topic. Also, here is the one actually that I'm now working on is I'm using AI more sophisticated way to collaborate with the professional company, the FinScience, and then I'm working with them to developing this kind of the work to how actually can evaluate each individual company or individual industry's performance over this implementation of this SDG goal. Right? So for example, that here is one example. This is one actually how actually AI can and big data can use for to evaluate your performance here. And then here is one example that I'm looking at in the S&P 500 high-tech company. High-tech company means like IT, telecom, semiconductor, and then like electronics company like a Samsung, and then Apple, Microsoft, and IBM, and other company like Cisco, Oracle, like Intel, something that in high tech area. And then this one actually can evaluate using the big data gathered by the AI, and then they evaluate by the more advanced AI algorithm like natural language processing, and then they can evaluate for example industry wise and then company wise, and then for individual company for each different goal actually how they actually perform to implementing and then contributing actually for the UN SDG goal here. And then here is one actually the I'm involving for example in this Saturday actually there will be the ceremony actually the company actually contribute to this SDG goal. So they are going to evaluate, they actually already evaluate the company, make us some proposal and they evaluate it. And then also they select the company and then award them for their contribution to this global effort for our planet and our society. And then this one actually I participate yesterday actually here also in here is some company manage for the sustainability. This is for the innovator, like a developer, like a innovator can contribute to sustainability. And then here is one actually I'm just to show a snapshot. This is one example of the metaverse. So this is me, and then I join this award ceremony. Example, this is very early stage, but to show that my avatar participate, and then all of the world participate, and then they virtually interact and discuss.
Moving avatars around feels a bit of a more special experience than Zoom, I must say. I guess that's like the least that you could comment on it. Now, we're going to continue and we're going to dive straight into the Energy and Environment Awards. These awards will be introduced by our sponsor, TerraScale. Danny Hyde, CEO of TerraScale, is going to tell us more about their view. TerraScale is an exciting company, guys, because the data centers that they develop are powered by clean energy, and they're the only green technology company that places sustainable digital infrastructure and cybersecurity at the center of data center development projects. So I'll leave it to Danny to tell us the word.
This is Danny Hayes. I'm the CEO of TerraScale. We came very early on with the Impact Awards this year to hopefully really back a couple of you leaders. It was really hard to determine just from the semifinalists alone here. From India to Germany to the United States, some of the best countries and best at class in all areas have come to the table. Please hope that we can all move forward and cooperate instead of compete in the future. And best of luck to you all. Thanks again from TerraScale.
The winner of the 2021 ECI Award for Energy and Environment is Dryad Network. Congratulations. I'll be clapping.
Okay, so this is one example. Actually, I also post this one in my YouTube website, so you can see the full. Actually, I can meet with the individual meeting them, and then also I can look around and the whole things here. This is one example actually that I just motivated by this one. Actually, I'm thinking about some way to developing this kind of metaverse to the ESG management and investing area. So this is fantastic that actually they can apply metaverse actually to the ESG and sustainability. Other than actually I'm going to introduce later about they can also like contribute other ways. And then this is one actually the just the fun like how the individual nation actually the perform the US performance ranking. So actually the Finland is a top, the European country is a top, and then Korea here, and then some United States in here like that. Okay, so I'm not going to show you this one I'm going to show you this one in later for the my talk for the in Korean. Actually, this is for the South Korea. Actually, they have a government driving for the like to make a carbon zero nation, and then for the sustainable development. So they call like a Korean Green New Deal, like in the United States, a New Deal. So after COVID-19 to like reboosting the economy in South Korea, they want to be like a New Deal, but in a Green New Deal. So and then also they developed like a Korean type of sustainable development goals. So it's a Korean K SDG, and then I'm going to show you in later for the Korean part. Okay, so what is ESG transformation? Actually, I'm thinking about how actually the digital transformation can contribute to ESG sustainability to integrate with this ESG digital transformation is the integration with digital technology into all domain of ESG to transform sustainability management and investing in development in innovative way. So this is my the current effort to make some framework and methodology and the solution for to have this ESG sustainability through the digital transformation. The digital transformation is well known in digital area, but I'm now combining and then like using AI, blockchain, other like IoT as catalyst for the ESG digital transformation like that. And then also this is one WF talk about
technology is disrupting most areas of our lives.
The digital
no
technology
surprise it's
can have
changing
this
advocacy.
to save
We've seen the
environment.
emergence of technologies that help people drive change by making problems visible and actionable. The environmental community stands at the cusp of a major transformation. We call it the fourth wave of environmental innovation.
So the WF actually initiate actually how digital technologies can to have this the global issues like environmental issues and other like issues. So this is just I show you some what the current state of the AI like that. You may heard about some like dramatic like improvement of the cancer detection and then human-like behavior, and then looking at the like they can contribute a lot in the science, and then they can like mimic the human, and then they can detect the human emotion like that. And here is some specific example that maybe if you are in the AI field, actually this Professor Benjo is one of the pioneer in the deep learning. And then recently he joined as a international effort like
introducing Joshua Benjo. So Joshua is one of the world's leading experts in artificial intelligence and deep learning. He's a professor in the Department of Computer Science at the University of Montreal, and also the founder and scientific director of Milan.
So actually the UN initiate this kind of the global leader in AI and then like environmental science join together to tackle this climate change under the UN organization. So like 100 like well-known AI expert and then data scientists join for this kind of initiative recently. And then also blockchain can contribute a lot in in here. So here is but blockchain also have very early state. They have like some interpretive problem and then some scalability problem. And also you listen, there is a notorious about the Bitcoin for their mining spend a lot of energy, electricity. So they generate, for example, like the Bitcoin mining in the CBS alone, just the Bitcoin mining alone could raise global temperature around 2 degrees on average in 2 decades. So it is a lot. So there may be some like happening, like Elon Musk actually bought a lot of the Bitcoin, and then Tesla you can buy Tesla by Bitcoin, but recently they cancel it, and then he played around this one. But anyway, because also here is a related NFT you may heard about. They can integrate with the metaverse for the like, for example, the ownership for your real estate in the metaverse space or something like that. But actually the blockchain can do a lot for the good thing. And then here is something mixed up in here, but my presentation will be correct one. I have one here will be the like application of the blockchain. Actually, the blockchain can be applied for the carbon footprint. For example, that if you want to like a track your carbon footprint, and then they can be like a traceable. For example, that if you want to be the carbon trace of your carbon footprint along your supply chain, and then you want to be like credible about your information, then it is well known in the blockchain. Like you can have like implementing blockchain supply chain management, and then also you can, through this blockchain supply chain management, you can trace your carbon footprint along the supply chain. Also, they can be used like a carbon credit market price for that. So here is some missing by some reason, but actually I prepared for here. Okay, so I think that this should change it here. Okay, the correct order. And then here is some.
Today I'm wearing a different hat. I'm also got a couple of board roles. I'm chairman for Europe at Securitize, the STO company. I'm vice chairman of SFOX, the leading crypto prime dealer here in the independent crypto prime dealer here.
So basically, this talk about is like your carbon credit can be traded in the blockchain marketplace. And then the next one, actually, here is I have some reverse order here. Okay. So for example, that okay. Another thing that I'm going to introduce is IoT technology. So here is one example that IoT can.
I feel a great responsibility as someone who understands technology to use it for good. Cities are at the forefront of battling climate change. Cities have made promises and they don't have all the answers. That's where BlocPower comes in. What we're creating is a platform for buildings. We're taking dumb buildings and making them smart. We start with data. We've created a technology solution to the engineering challenges and created a way to manage the financial risk. It's fine to do one building, one community, but our mission is to do a lot more than that. And if we're successful, there will be thousands of buildings out there, cities built upon BlocPower's technology. And we needed an enterprise partner that can help enable that vision. At BlocPower, we use Oracle IoT Asset Monitoring Cloud to help us scale our business. Today, it's energy efficiency, but tomorrow, it might be something else in the workflow that makes a city run. We need to have confidence that we can deliver on that. Because that's what our enterprise clients, our mayors, that's what they want. They want a partner that can help them deliver on smart cities. It's deliver on the future.
Okay, so IoT technology can be like sensing your space and your surrounding, and then they provide the data. And then recently they combined with the 5G mobile communication, and then they deliver the diverse ways actually to deliver your data to your application. And also there is a trend like saving your energy, and then also more efficient way to computing. So they make their computing capability to the as far as close to the source of the data, they call edge computing. So and then combined with the AI, so the IoT they call like different way to view to IoT innovation is combined with the 5G and edge computing. So edge AI IoT is a combination of this four technology, and then they can apply like a smart healthcare and smart city, and then here is like a virtual and augmented reality also, and then autonomous speakers, and then industry internet and other things, smart farming and smart retail. They can apply using this 5G and IoT and in combination with the AI. And here I summarize that actually the AI blockchain IoT can do further. I just show you just a few examples. Here is I summarize nearly all the application of AI blockchain IoT for the each type of the ESG, like climate change, actually for the greenhouse gas emission control, like how actually can AI can help for this like monitoring, predicting, mitigating, adapting for the greenhouse gas emission. So I give you some like introduction of this one, the how AI can apply this one, and also like blockchain and IoT can how they can contribute to the fighting for the climate change here. And here is another like some example. Renewable energy is like alternative to fossil fuel energy. So actually this renewable energy is hard to manage, actually the control. And then so this AI blockchain IoT can have to like manage this renewable energy system more efficiently and more effectively to deliver the energy. And then also like how they can contribute to deforestation management, and then how they can use in the pollution and then waste management, something like, and then how they can use in the water management, and then how they can use the biodiversity and the land use. I gave all the like application of the AI blockchain IoT, the catalytic like this technology for this case. And also not just for the environment, they can be applied to the like a socialist, like they can apply for the community support and the human care, human life, and the workforce management. And then for example that how they can be customer care, business relationship, and then partner care and private cybersecurity is a big issue here. And also like they also contribute to like a corporate governance, like for example that they can corporate management, stakeholder engagement, and then ethics, code of conduct, and legal compliance. They can all apply for this all other aspect of this ESG sustainability in here. So this is one this is another the way actually the last year I did some research about in the global patent space. I look at about 100,000 patent rate AI blockchain IoT in all of the world, and then I look at that for specifically for the ESG related AI blockchain IoT technology that I found that 625 published patent application actually directly with ESG Digital Transformation Innovation. So here is one example like how they contribute each part of this specific topic of this ESG. And then this is one example. Actually, last year I did like AI, blockchain, and IoT patent analysis here. And then this is actually the recently here is another one actually that they can actually use this patent information can use for the how actually can innovate in the like ESG, for example, reducing carbon footprint and the increasing renewable energy use and waste management and workforce management, or like a cybersecurity and corporate governance. So there I found that there are many cases patent already applied and then you can use their information to innovate for yourself. And then basically I'm a patent attorney. That's why I can do this one. Here is one recently that, for example, Microsoft and then HPC and HPE, HP they divided by, so HP Enterprise and then Microsoft and the Facebook actually the join like a low carbon patent treaties. So actually they gather their patent application, patent relate to this reduction of the low carbon technology. And then whoever actually to contribute this area, actually they want to be freely licensed these patents. So I think that if I have like some support, like a fund, and actually I can do this one, like the all kind of actually ideas like this one. This is only for the digital technology here, but I think that this will be very good in like a good thing. Like for example, that this can be used by the like for other countries to developing this like innovation related to sustainability, the climate change, and then other. This is for just carbon technologies, but can contribute in any ESG, especially environmental, not just carbon, like reducing. They can contribute to like air pollution detection and the management, and then waste management and water resource management, the diversity, biodiversity. There are hundreds, maybe the million, maybe patent maybe already out there can be reused by this innovator to develop for the fighting for the environment, for save our planet. So I think that this is a very good initiative, and I also want to have some opportunity to contribute to my expertise in ESG and patent for this kind of activities. And then here is one thing that summarize actually the ESG digital transformation for the sustainable business innovation growth. So digital transformation for the ESG can effective integration of ESG sustainability into business strategy, model, and operation based on data-driven material ESG risk opportunity impact assessment. Maybe if you are in the sustainability in ESG, and this will be very appealing to you, but if you are not, and then it may be not. So I'm going to skim over this one, but ESG digital can contribute a lot, and then can be contribute to like a sustainable business innovation and growth in many different aspects. And then here is my effort that I want this as a more formalized and make some framework methodology, and then so I'm express my interest in this field, and then share my idea with my like for example my LinkedIn connection or the Facebook friend, and then I make this one. And then for example LinkedIn group, I have like around 250 that join this group. And then Facebook around 40 now join, but I'm expecting more be participating for my effort, like applying this digital technology to support this sustainability ESG matter to save our planet, our society. So I welcome to join this group to share your idea, and then together to make effort to make this digital technologies can contribute to this ESG sustainability for our planet and society and people. And then this is one actually my focus is to how I can make like ESG digital transformation solution based on my IT experience and other digital technologies. So this is one idea that like how actually the internally manage your ESG management. For example, that if you want to manage your greenhouse gas management, for example, then what you need is you need to track over your whole supply chain, not just your internal. And then also like for example, you need to like for example the monitor and then check for the carbon footprint of your manufacturing process, operation, business operation, or your delivery process or something like that. Also, you need to take care of the like whether you buy your electricity from the fossil fuels, not the renewable energy, then you contribute also. So you think about you're buying some power, And then also you should think about like you're like a supplier chain. For example, that where is a research coming out, and then where is like in some part of their supply chain actually can contribute in the greenhouse gas emission. So to do that, actually, it can be very difficult to manage this system. So my idea is that there will be existing ERP, CRM, and SCM already. A lot of company already have it. So actually, how you can integrate this IT infrastructure, IT asset to integrate with this ESG management stuff. So this is one actually I'm going to try to develop for myself. We do collaborate with many other partners in here, and also I will also contribute to like applying AI to measure your performance to make a decision making more better, and then how you can innovate in your like ESG management for the sustainable like development goals. Okay, so I did my second part, and then I'm going to spend just 10 minutes for the Metaverse application for the ESG sustainability, and then going to have a Q&A in a short time. And then I'm going to my second part with for the specific for the Korean speaking people. About 20 minutes I'm going to spend for the more like additional explanation about the ESG, and then also like a Metaverse for the specific for the Korean community. Okay, so Metaverse can, for example, this is one that Dassault system, digital twin for sustainability.
I wanted to.
And then before talk, actually, I have some comment about this one. I like this one. The reason is that, for example, I have a lot of the networking with like a sustainability professionals. For example, I just count my LinkedIn connection that actually about 300 actually. I have a LinkedIn connection. I have a title like the professional ESG sustainability or some way. But I think that only few actually they have some relationship with that I've talked about today, like a technical part. For example, what I mentioned is that she is like chief sustainability officer of this Dassault system, but she is a traditional ESG professional, the ESG sustainability professional. What I mean is that like if you're in the ESG sustainability, usually the management and then reporting, like using using like for example concern about the like for example CSR, like a corporate social responsibility, or some way actually the traditional way of the think about is a two part. This is one like a title with the sustainability management or the ESG management and the investment. This is a type of the people actually the only concern about the region of the like management or something like that. But other type that I'll talk about today is innovators, like technical guys. Like there is a guy, these guys are not titled as a sustainability ESG, but usually their title is a chief scientist, chief technologist. But actually they are also working on sustainability and innovation like me, because I know both sides. And then I'm trying to combine two sides. And then this is one example that he take care of the whole aspect of the company's ESG sustainability matter, like reporting and the management and something like, but also collaborate with this innovator, like a chief scientist and chief technologist to like bring this innovative technology to further sustainability matters in-house, also as a product. And then they sell this product, they sell this service, they actually solve their company. And then this is one case I've seen, that not many cases I've seen that actually they have a title with the sustainability, like chief sustainability officer, doing like the chief innovation officer role. And this is one example that I really like that, because she is a traditional, the typical professional in the ESG sustainability officer, but actually collaborate with innovative chief scientists and chief technologists to bring these innovative ways to contribute to sustainability matter to the traditional management. So this is where actually we're looking at.
Talk to you a little bit from the corporate perspective. I work for a company that makes virtual twins of anything, really. I talked to you a little bit about how we are working on climate action from this particular technology and this particular perspective. So Audacity Systems is a company that provides business and people with 3D experience universes, so virtual universes, to imagine sustainable innovations capable of harmonizing product, nature, and life. In a nutshell, this is sort of who we are. So world leader in 3D design and engineering software. It's a company with about 200,000 employees, about 300,000 customers, often seen as a very innovative company because virtual twins are still quite on the cutting edge of technology today, and even more on the cutting edge if you think about their use for sustainability. And then on the right, you see a little bit of some of the recognition in terms of environmental, social, and governance issues. And we are very proud, notably, to be a founding member of the European Green Digital Coalition, which is, I'm very happy to work with the EU on a lot of this. So this is an overview just of our sustainability strategy. We have a series of targets for 2025 where we focused on our own footprint, also on the products and services we deliver to customers and the world, and those include many governments today, in fact, and how we work with stakeholders. So in particular, you'll see with respect to our product portfolio, we have a goal to have 2/3 of new licenses from sustainability impact software, and lifecycle analysis is in fact a core part of that approach. So I'm going to jump into that a little bit more later. So I don't think I need to get into a lot of this because you all know this, but this is the United Nations decade to deliver between 2020 and 2030. Because we have really hit crisis mode, both in terms of climate, biodiversity, ecosystems, land use, sea, everything is being overexploited, and we are hitting up against those planetary limits in some ways faster than we thought we would. And so this is what we call the decade to deliver, because now we really need to change the way we manufacture and consume and do just about anything. We will get into later. So there are now less than 10 years to achieve that goal. And essentially our belief is that incremental change is no longer an option, and we have to move to much more disruptive models, which is part of why virtual twins are helpful. So if you look at how virtual twins are being used today, they're very much being used for a couple of different things, but one is for very disruptive innovation. So 85% of the world's electric vehicles today were made using this type of software, 75% of the world's wind power. So anything that is a really disruptive technological change, essentially people are building it and simulating its use in virtual universes before they release it. And that allows you to accelerate the time to market and get these innovations out there in a record time compared to what you would have to do if you actually had to build physical prototypes, test them over and over again, see if they work. You were talking about decades of work. So we can reduce that decades of work into several years of work thanks to virtual modeling. And this is an example of another way they're being used, which is connecting to IoT technologies, sensor technologies, the Internet of Things, to be able to provide constant feedback loops. So if you look across all the major categories of emissions, virtual twins are being used to first model the system, then collect data thanks to the sensor and real-time data, and then adjust that system. So figure out how to do predictive maintenance, figure out how to adjust things. It's used very often for energy efficiency in buildings, for example. You can monitor a whole building parks and simulate them, but also any kind of other industry as well. And this is just to get a little bit more precise in how they're being used. So at the very, very upstream, the virtual twin can help in the research and development process by doing in silico development of new materials. You can get to the molecular level
and design completely new materials that didn't exist before. So we're doing a lot of work on biomaterials, obviously, and more sustainable materials. You can do the life cycle impact of those materials. Then design and engineering. So same thing, you can do in silico design, you can do generative design, and so on through up to logistics. If you're modeling your logistics system, you can also optimize it, for example, for CO2 reduction. You can model sort of things like reverse logistics, which are how you would be able to get back the product that you've put back out on the market. So how can you bring things back and reuse and recycle them or refill them in the case of consumer goods. Product asset use is a little bit what I've just talked about. So you can monitor the actual operations and use of a system or an infrastructure, and then decommissioning and end of life. So you can, that actually has to do with the design. So you can eco-design something for end of life, including its dismantling, but you can also simulate that dismantling and track each material through the system. So we strongly believe that virtual universes are going to be a key tool for our customers, but actually for the world to radically innovate new products, materials, and processes for tomorrow's sustainable economy, and do that at the fastest possible speed. So that's a little bit what I was talking about before, but this sort of idea that you need to disrupt, and disruption is very hard. You think about a large corporation that's manufacturing something, it takes multiple years just to adjust certain production lines to produce different things in a different way. So imagine trying to rethink everything, your materials, the way you're producing. How do you get to zero carbon manufacturing? How do you get plastic out of your products? How do you move to a circular economy model where you're not just selling a product, you're taking it back and reusing it? So these types of changes are really profoundly disruptive, and virtual universes is a way essentially to practice and to play and to invent. And one of the best examples is from one of our customers who was involved in building one of the first electric glass manufacturing plants in the world, which nobody thought was possible 5 years ago. And the only way to get the capital and the partners to do that project was to prove that it was possible in a virtual universe first. So to simulate that you could get to the right levels of heat, the right levels of fluidity, you could make a manufacturing plant run on renewable energy at that speed and at that level of energy intensity. So,
okay, so this is one example, and another example is Microsoft. Actually, they have a Metaverse solution, and then they collaborate in, for example, this project, actually the net zero greenhouse gas emission. So they are leveraging innovation and participate disrupt the energy transition sectors, and also in the community ways, so reduce greenhouse gas for in a specific community, and also in the building. So they contribute a lot in using their Metaverse solution to the contributing sustainability matters in here. And here, I'm currently interested is to actually the whole city can be built up for sustainable, because for example, the city is responsible for more than 2/3 of the world energy use and greenhouse gas emissions. So if you innovate your city, actually they will contribute to a zero carbon society. And then so here's for example that you can think about buildings, and then a street. And then also you can think about how you can waste management and water management. So the Metaverse solution, especially digital twin combined with other digital technology, and then reality technologies can actually simulate and then make a city-wise Metaverse, and then they can the real-time data and interact, and then it's the same thing, people can be joining in here, then can be living in the Metaverse, and then look at the building management, and then transportation, traffic management, and other water management can be done in the Metaverse ways. So they can, for example, that the Metaverse city center can contribute to monitoring whole things in the that. So this is the idea that, for example, like a city of York in the UK use a real-time transportation model, and then they exploring digital twins to control the citywide traffic to reduce energy spending and then reducing greenhouse gas. So this is the one contribution using Metaverse to greatly reduce this greenhouse gas emission in the citywide. And this is some particularly interesting. I feel working on this field. And then, for example, the smart city, then you can do it. And actually, I was the innovator in this field. Is about 20 years ago. I'm trying to build up this kind of city in South Korea. We call ubiquitous computing city. And then I work for that. And then promoting our idea to worldwide. So I talk about this one in some United Nations organization meeting about introducing our report, and then talk about in New York Times about how we can do it in other conference. Actually, I tried this one before, and then in the 20 years later, I'm now looking at the opportunity like ESG city, like a sustainable city in smart cities. So this is a current project. Actually, I'm working on it, and then also other projects are going on in South Korea. So, but I'm not going to detail about this one. So I did everything for that I'm going to deliver is except some specific things for the Korean community for today's talk. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And then for the English speaking people, as I announced that after this Q&A, short Q&A, I'm going to deliver some specific topic that I've skimmed over today for the Korean community, for the specific Korean community's interest. So I think that if you have a question, and then you can have a question, then you can ask me about some question or the comment now, and then after you can leave. And then I'm going to talk about some other specific issue for the Korean community in Korean. Okay, so Manuel, do you have any comment or any question?
Hi, Alex. Well, thank you for the presentation. First thing is the first time I connect the dots between Metaverse, which I think we know it for some time, is Second Life, if you remember the application, and the ESG. And especially I see the strong connection between digital twins, digital technologies. Maybe you want to make a comment, and here is what I'm going to say. With Industry 1.0, we started with the steam engine, then we passed to electricity, eventually computers, and now we're Industry 4.0. The industry brought a lot of progress, but also affected the environment and the people. So I would like to ask you, and for the I know the answer already from our conversations, but for the benefits of the other people, how do you see the link between ESG and Industry 4.0, Metaverse, and all the other applications of digital technology?
Oh yeah, actually the Industry 4.0 is some way we can talk about is industrial digital transformation. So so this is not new, but some people they talk about the fourth industrial revolution, but the fourth industrial revolution is much wider sense. But the current state of the fourth industrial revolution is the Industry 4.0. So usually they talk about like a smart manufacturing and the smart industry application. And then also like I mentioned that there are many for example the environmental issues coming from this industry. So if you innovate your industrial digital transformation in a way to sustainable way. So that's why I'm talking about like a digital transformation integrated with ESG. And then for example, in your smart manufacturing, not just for the smart, but it can be environmental aware smart, right? And then they can they not only just for the smart, for the manufacturing, for efficient management and effective management, and additionally provide like a value for the profit. Also, additionally, they can provide like environmental aware ways to like saving energy and then saving reducing carbon footprint or something like that. So they are all linked together. And then also, for example, the fourth industrial revolution talk about like AI and blockchain and other digital technology should be catalyst, and then for that, and then you see that nobody actually have something what should be the looks like actually the realization fourth industrial revolution. They all people talk about like there was like a third, right? So next will be fourth. I think the metaverse actually nearly the fourth industrial revolution, because it way to some innovate way to for example in the metaverse economic, right? This economic system is much broader extended, like is a combination of the real like a digital economy plus like our economy, like a real physical economy. So it is a metaverse economy. So it looks like that this is a digital transformation plus the more additional things happen. And so I bet that this metaverse is truly the fourth industrial revolution, and then it is a paradigm shift of our digital revolution. And then it should be include that in the pathway to this metaverse revolution, they should be considered about sustainability. You know that, because without Earth, right, there will be no metaverse, right? So in the metaverse, that there is in the center is Earth and the people, dear people, plus virtual space. So its metaverse should be developed in a sustainable way, and then should be include all the like industry 4.0 and other fourth industrial revolution they talk about in WEF. That's why I'm thinking about it.
Thank you very much. To highlight actually the digitalization captures a lot of data. Not only the data should not be only used for let's say manufacturing processes, agriculture, but can be also analyzed again, the same data. I'm not proposing to expand the probes or the network or to account for environmental and social impact. So I think the data is not acquired in this way, but I suspect there are already vast amounts of data that can be mined to account for environmental both sustainability and risks. To finish the idea, all this can be plugged in digital twins and other models for virtual reality, which are part of the metaverse. So I see a connection there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so is there any other question or any comment from like English speaking participant? Okay, then you can stay here, but we are going to talk in Korean. So if you want, you can leave. And I'm going to share this recording so you can look at it later. And then I'm on a like a 1 minute break. And then I'm going to talk about some specific topic for the Korean community. Okay, thank you for your participation, and you can leave if you want. And then if you want to discuss about some specific Korean community topic, and then you can stay here. 박욱 교수님 아직 계세요?
아, 네, 있습니다.
예, 오늘 토픽 어떠셨어요?
아, 오늘도 뭐 항상 재밌었지만 오늘도 재밌었습니다.
아, 그러세요? 아, 전해주고 싶은 건 많은데 시간이 여기에서
네, 항상 좀 내용이 좀 많으셔가지고.
네, 제가 저번에도 ESG도 한참 여기 쪽으로 하다가 다 정리가 돼가지고 한번 또 한국 쪽만 해서 했었는데 아마 이거 메타버스 좀 한번 해야 될 것 같은 생각이
아, 네.
전하고 싶은 걸 다 전하지 못한 것 같아가지고 오늘은 간단하게 이 뭐야 아까 설명한 것들을 좀 서머리하는 식으로 해서 그 영어로도
네네.
하는 좀 하고 또 한국 상황에 맞는 걸 좀 제가 한 10분 정도 하고요. 그 다음에 Q&A 뭐 아니면 디스커션 갖는 걸로 하겠습니다. 그래서 먼저
네, 감사합니다.
예, 먼저 그러면 그 잠깐요. 제가 스크린 쉐어를 해서 제가 여기 그 오늘 그러니까 설명했던 거를 쭉 가면서요. 제가 좀 부가적으로 설명을 할게요. 한국말로 하면은 저도 미국에서는 한 20년 살았지만 한국말이 훨씬 편하거든요. 그래서 뭐 한국말로 할 때는 훨씬 더 빠르게 할 수 있고요. 그다음에 이거를 좀 오늘 전달하는데 영어하고 한국어 그 단어의 차이가 좀 뉘앙스가 있어가지고 그래서 일단은 여기는 제가 정리했던 게 그러니까 제가 가장 지금 이제 이거를 갖고 해야겠다고 생각한 게 뭐냐면 저도 이제 한국에서 메타버스가 굉장히 많이 뭐 얘기가 되고 있잖아요. 그러니까 저도 이 메타버스를 이렇게 찾아보기 전에는 사실 저도 이쪽에 뭐 IT 전문가, 디지털 전문가라 있지만 제 주위에서 이 메타버스라는 얘기를 얘기하는 사람이 없었어요. 그러니까 이쪽 미국에서는. 그래서 뭐 메타버스가 뭔가 한국 쪽에서 계속 떠드니까 그래서 이제 찾아보게 된 거고요. 찾아서 들어가다 보니까 이제 자세히 조사하다 보니까 그게 아니네. 미국 쪽에서도 굉장히 관심을 갖고 있는데 다만 이제 4차 산업혁명 같이 그러니까 똑같은 거예요. 4차 산업혁명도 이 사람들이 다 알고는 있지만 여기서 막 그걸 대놓고 떠드는 사람은 없거든요. 그런 식으로 뭐냐면 이 사람들 굉장히 제가 여태까지 봐왔던 거는 이 사람들 굉장히 현실적이라 그래야 되나? 그러니까 비전만 갖고는 잘 안 움직이는 사람들인 거예요. 그러니까 물론 이제 큰 사람이 큰 데가 움직이면 이번에 이제 마크 저크버그 같이 이제 좀 영향력이 있는 사람들이 움직이면 그런가 보다 이제 언론도 떠들기 시작하는데 그 전에는 그렇게 안 해요. 그러니까 특히 4차 산업혁명 같은 경우에는 사실 여기 있는 사람들은 뭐 그 뜬구름 잡는 얘기냐 그게 무슨 우리 비즈니스와 무슨 상관이야 그래가지고 그걸 굳이 나서 가지고 얘기하는 사람들 거의 못 봤거든요. 물론 이제 4차 산업혁명이라는 걸 알기는 다 알아요. WF에서 얘기했다는 것도 알지만 그냥 여기 있는 사람들은 디지털 트랜스포메이션 하면 다 알죠. 그래서 4차 산업혁명은 인더스트리얼 디지털 트랜스포메이션이라고 하는 게 가장 정확할 것 같은데 이 사람들 입장에서는 그래서 이제 여기는 인더스트리얼 IoT라는 거 이런 게 얘기를 많이 하듯이 근데 메타버스 같은 경우에도 여기 같은 경우에는 그렇게 막 지금 막 밖에 나서 가지고 막 사람들이 떠들고 있지는 않아요. 그런데 우연하게 사람들이 이제 그러니까 제가 관심을 갖고 보니까 또 많이 사람들이 얘기하더라고요. 제가 이거 전에 바로 1시간 전에 또 제가 다른 커뮤니티에서 이런 미드업이라는 거 있었는데 그 미드업에서는 오늘 보여준 기술 중에 하나인 디지털 휴먼을 AI 갖고 만드는 거를 톡을 했는데 거기서 메타버스에 대한 걸 앞에서 설명을 하더라고요. 근데 설명이 별로 미흡하더라고요. 제가 보니까 메타버스에 대해서는 한국이 가장 뭐랄까 개념이나 이런 것들은 앞서 있는 것 같아요. 그런 것들. 근데 다만 이제 제가 우려하는 거는 여기 이게 보시면 알겠지만 이 미국 사람들이 얘기하는 메타버스는 굉장히 다양해요. 벌써부터. 근데 한국에서 얘기하는 건 굉장히 편중돼 있어요. 로블록스 뭐 이런 디지털 게임이나 아니면 디지털 리얼리티에 들어가 가지고 뭐 땅 사고 부동산 사고 뭐 거기서 뭐 구찌 제품 팔고 뭐 이런 거 게임 아이템 팔고 거기서 뭐 NFT 갖고 뭐 굉장히 돈 많이 벌었다 뭐 이런 얘기들이 주로 이루어지지만 여기 있는 사람들은 되게 얘기하는 게 현실적이고 이노베이션적이고 여기 현재 갖고 있는 기술 갖고 어떻게 만들 거냐는 얘기 주로 이런 얘기들을 하고 있다는 게 이제 차이점이라는 거죠. 그래서 이런 거에 대한 거를 좀 한국에서 제가 볼 땐 붐을 만드는 것 같아요. 제가 여기서 설명드렸지만 제가 실패한 것 중에 하나가 뭐냐면 여기 메이드 인 코리아가 또 한 번 전 세계에서 알렸던 게 제가 UCT 이 디벨롭먼트 UCT 포럼이라는 걸 만들어가지고 한국에서 이거 UCT라는 걸 했는데 이게 스마트 시티의 전신이거든요. 그래서 굉장히 언론의 주목도 받고 많이 했었는데 이게 흐지부지 됐어요. 한 20년 전이죠. 이게 뭐 보면 알겠지만 2000년도에 초기에 했던 유비쿼터스 뭐 제가 뭐 그때 전도사처럼 일하면서 뭐 했었는데 근데 사실 이게 한국에서 이게 우리가 굉장히 많이 떠드는 거예요. 제가 초청도 받아서 막 한국 얘기를 막 엄청나게 세계에 가서 떠들었. 이 반대로 이거는 우리나라에서 굉장히 열심히 하고 떠들고 세계에 가서 떠들었는데 우리나라 자체에서 죽어버렸어요. 근데 이게 지금 제가 우려하고 있는 게 한국의 메타버스가 지금 이거하고 비슷하다는 생각이 드는 게 한국이 물론 이제 이게 시초는 외국에서 했지만은 한국이 굉장히 이쪽에 대해서 막 엄청나게 붐을 일으키고 이게 뭐 한국의 영향력이 뭐 제가 했을 때 한국의 뭐 IT에서 영향력이 그렇게 많지도 않았었어요. 그때는. 근데 지금은 한국의 영향력이 굉장한 그런 입장에서 우리가 이런 메타버스를 갖고 이런 선도적인 역할을 했다라는 거에 대해서 저는 굉장히 고무적이라고 생각하는데 방향을 잘 잡아야겠다라는 생각이 드는 거예요. 그래서 이게 이제 오늘 여기 참여하신 전문가들이나 이런 분들을 통해서 이런 것들이 좀 제대로 정립이 됐으면 하는 게 생각인 거고요. 그다음에 여기 보시면 알겠지만은 이 메타버스는 이제 뭐 이런 얘기는 한국에서 많이 하죠. 한국의 여러 가지 책들 보면 맨날 이런 거를 인용을 하고 뭐 하는데 이 예를 보면 이 예가 굉장히 저는 마음에 안 드는 게 굉장히 옛날 얘기들을 하고 있어요. 근데 이 예를 보시면 여기 미국에 있는 예들을 보면은 굉장히 현실적이게 지금 현재 기술로 메타버스를 어떻게 구현할 거에 대한 얘기를 하고 있거든요. 이런 게 우리가 좀 생각해 봐야 될 문제인 것 같고요. 그 다음에 여기서 보면은 이게 하는 게 이제 에픽 게임스가 게임 회사인데 이 회사가 지금 이 디지털 트윈 얘기를 하고 있고 디지털 휴먼 얘기를 하고 있단 말이죠. 이게 우리가 관점 차이 뭐 한국에서 뭐 하면 어느 회사가 펀딩 받고 뭐 주식 투자 어쩌고저쩌고 얘기를 많이 하는데 사실은 만약에 우리가 이제 제가 우려하는 게 뭐냐면은 이렇게 우리가 이게 붐을 만들어 놨는데 우리는 기껏해봐야 게임 콘텐츠하고 뭐 멀티미디어 콘텐츠 이런 거 개발했는데 뭐 이런 핵심 기술들이나 이런 핵심 엔진 뭐 진짜 코어는 다 여기서 다 개발하고 한번 보세요. 이거 한국에서 제가 뭐 아까 디지털 그린 뉴딜인가 뭐 제가 아까 이쪽에 설명하려다 했던 것 중에 하나 보면은 여기 보시면은 한국의 뭐 그 뭐야 그 막 그린 뉴딜을 한다는 얘기가 있었어요. 그래서 이제 제가 그 아마 이게 이제 이건데 이렇게 해서 이제 뭐 그래서 코리안 뉴딜의 KNSG 한다는데 우리나라 입장에서는 굉장히 예산을 많이 투입해 가지고 엄청난 일을 하는 것 같다고 얘기를 하는데 여기 한번 현실을 보자 이거죠. 여기 한 회사입니다. 한 게임 회사에 1 빌리언이요. 1 빌리언. 1조. 그렇죠? 1조를 한 회사에서 이걸 갖고 자기네 나름대로 뭔가를 하겠다고 하는 이런 게 지금 이런 게 이제 미국과 이런 외국에서의 어떤 이런 저력이라는 거죠. 그러니까 집중하고 뭔가를 그 알맹이 있는 거를 가치 있는 걸 만들어내는데 돈을 이렇게 1조를 투자하는데 우리는 보면은 뭐 뉴딜 프로젝트에 무슨 뭐 거기에 뭐 메타버스를 넣어가지고 뭐 어쩌고 한다고 했는데 뭐 거기에 투자하는 돈을 보세요. 그래서 엄청나게 많은 일들을 한다고 하는데 그 엄청나게 많은 일들이 도대체 뭔지를 잘 모르겠고요. 그런 게 지금 제가 지금 걱정하는 게 우리가 결국에는 우리가 만들어 놓은 이 붐을 결국에는 글로벌 마켓이 커지면 우리가 이거를 뺏길 수도 있다라는 거가 우리가 좀 경계심을 갖고 좀 생각을 해봐야 되는 문제인 것 같고요. 근데 이런 게 부러운 거죠. 우리 나름대로는 굉장히 뭐 네이버 카카오를 굉장히 한국에서 맨날 언론 보면 네이버 카카오 얘기를 하는데 그렇게 글로벌 영향력 있는 플랫폼 회사가 없어요. 근데 여기 보세요. 페이스북이 한마디 하니까 미국 언론에서 난리치고 메타버스가 뭐야 하고 여기저기서 난리를 치는데 한국의 네이버나 카카오나 뭐 이런 회사에서 아무리 그런 거를 외쳐봐야 우리가 무슨 뭐 한국에 있는 무슨 뭐 노블록스 같은 게임에서 노블록스 같은 회사는 여기서 뭐 별로 뭐 그게 무슨 뭐 우리에게는 아이들의 군통령 이런 얘기할 게 아니죠. 우리는 큰 시장을 봐야 되는데 거기에 대한 게 우리는 그런 영향력 있는 플랫폼 회사가 없다라는 게 사실 우리의 핸디캡이기 때문에 우리가 굉장히 스마트한 전략을 써야겠다는 생각이 들고요. 그다음에 마이크로소프트도 보면 자기 나름대로의 자기네 있는 것들을 인터그레이션 하고 있는데 이런 게 굉장히 부러운 거예요. 우리는 또 이러한 IT 솔루션 회사가 없어요. 사실은 기껏 해봐야 솔루션을 일부 개발을 하거나 되게 SI 회사들이 많지 진정한 의미의 마이크로소프트와 같은 그 토탈 인터그레이터, 토탈 솔루션 프로바이더가 없다라는 게 또 우리의 핸디캡이라는 거죠. 그러면 우리가 전략적으로 메타버스를 어떻게 이렇게 키워야 되고 우리가 어떻게 가야 된다는 거에서 굉장히 스마트한 게 필요하고 우리가 한국에서 막 사람들이 막 이거 너무 허풍 아니냐 이게 아니고 지나칠 정도로 떠들어야 되는데 영향력 있게 떠들고 스마트하게 가야 된다라는 게 제가 생각하고 있는 거고요. 여기 보면 일본도 벌써 굉장히 구체적인 얘기를 하고 있어요. 그래서 저는 이 비즈니스 시나리오를 보면서 이거 닛산 자동차도 뭔가 이 분야를 굉장히 심각하게 고민하고 있고 제가 웹서치를 다 못 해봤지만 굉장히 많은 회사들이 지금 이 분야에 대해서 고민하고 자기네들을 하는데 문제는 뭐냐면 이제 우리의 핵심 역량을 제대로 집중시켜 가지고 이런 쪽에 해야 된다라는 생각이 들고요. 그다음에 이거는 이제 뭐 제가 생각한 대로 이제 이 메타버스라는 게 아직은 초기 단계다. 그러니까 뭐 우리가 지금 아무리 한국에서 많이 떠들어 지나칠 이유가 없는 거예요. 아직 뭐 초기 단계인데 뭐가 제대로 형성이 안 됐는데 어떻게 될지도 모르는데 우리가 그걸 한정적으로 해서 뭐 이거는 저거다 저거는 이거다 얘기할 때가 아니라고 하는 거죠. 다만 우리가 스마트한 전략을 갖고 어디로 갈 거냐에 대한 결정을 해줘야 되는 거고 그 다음에 이제 이런 것들도 우리하고 생각이 틀린 게 뭐냐면 우리는 기껏 해봐 아바타 하면은 우리 그 게임에 나오는 아바타 생각하는데 이 사람들은 벌써 휴먼을 미믹하는 이 휴먼 디지털 트윈 하는 이런 AI 기술을 생각하고 있고 제가 이제 이런 거를 여기 하면서 제가 이제 그 가장 좀 현실적으로 좀 답답했던 게 뭐냐면 제가 이제 ESG 쪽은 많이 하고 한국도 요새 뭐 ESG 하시는 분이 여기 많지 않겠지만 ESG가 굉장히 한국에서 이슈인 게 이 글로벌에서 굉장히 이슈이기도 하고 뭐 그런 것도 있지만 사실은 투자 때문이에요. 이게 왜냐면은 이제 그 뭐 블랙락이라든가 이런 글로벌 투자자들이 한국에도 보면 이러한 투자를 하는 데 있어서 ESG 경영 안 하는 데는 투자 안 한다고 해서 굉장히 지금 뭐 투자하고 또 한국 정부에서도 뭐 이걸 공시제도 만들어 가지고 ESG 공시한다 그래서 뭐 이게 그 공개된 기업들은 뭐 2025년부터 하고 뭐 어쩌고저쩌고 얘기를 하고 뭐 이렇게 해서 하긴 하는데 붐으로 하긴 하는데 아직은 한국에서도 초기 단계고 그렇게 정립이 안 된 상태이거든요. 근데 이제 제가 이제 가장 답답하게 였던 게 뭐냐면 이쪽 분야도 뭐 이렇게 한국 나름대로 유엔에 가가지고 굉장히 보니까 굉장히 활동을 열심히 하는 것 같아요. 국내에서도. 근데 다만 이제 한국 같은 경우에는 이렇게 이런 그 AI 기술들 이런 걸 해가지고 이렇게 이런 것 이거 제가 저 나름대로 여기서 보면 코딩 해가지고 할 수 있는 다 기술들이거든요. 다만 이제 빅데이터 기술을 좀 접목해가지고 하는 그런 것들만 하면은 한국에서도 충분히 개발할 수 있는 건데 이제 제가 이런 거를 좀 답답하게 여기는 거는 저는 이거 ESG 전에 AI, 블록체인, IoT 전체 기술을 제가 다 기술 개발해보고 뭐 스타트업에 대한 컨설팅도 해보고 이러한 기술 이노베이션 쪽에 관련된 커머셜라이제이션, 모니터레이션 다 해보고 하던 사람인데 이쪽에 관련돼서 이제 그 AI 커뮤니티나 뭐 블록체인 커뮤니티나 IoT 커뮤니티에다가 제가 이런 얘기들을 하고 있어요. 뭐 우리는 이런 게 우리가 생각하는 그냥 그 네로 마인드에 뭐 그냥 뭐 NLP가 뭐가 뭐고 무슨 오픈 AI가 뭐를 했고 뭐 몇백만 개 뭐 그런 것도 좋다 이거죠. 그런 AI 쪽에 관련된 거를 디스커션 하는 건 좋지만 우리가 이렇게 유엔이나 이런 데서 하는 것처럼 AI를 해가지고 우리가 지구를 살릴 수도 있고 이러한 일들을 굉장히 많이 할 수 있다는 걸 제 나름대로는 무지 많이 얘기를 했던 것 같은데 관심들이 없어요. 이런 게 좀 답답하다라는 거죠. 이런 한국에도 AI 같은 거 굉장히 잘하고 있거든요. 여기 특허를 보시면 알겠지만 한국이 AI 특허도 굉장히 잘하고 있고 논문도 많이 내고 우리 나름대로의 저변이 굉장히 AI 같은 IoT 같은 경우 우리나라가 거의 선두주자라고 저는 생각을 하고 있고요. 블록체인은 좀 잘못 가고 있지만은 근데 어쨌거나 이런 환경에서 우리가 AI, 블록체인, IoT가 이렇게 ESG, Sustainability, 이 지속 가능성이 굉장히 컨트롤할 수 있고 우리 이노베이션도 굉장히 잘하고 있는데 이쪽에 커뮤니티 있는 사람들이 관심이 없어요. 그런 게 좀 안타깝다라는 생각이 들고요. 그 다음에
질문 하나 드려도 될까요?
잠깐만요. 한 1분이면 끝나거든요. 예.
네.
그래서 여기 마지막에서 제가 하려고 하는 거는 좀 한국에 굉장히 그 요런 걸 다시 한번 해봤으면 하는 생각이고, 제가 고무적인 한국의 어떤 기업이 이렇게 남양주에다가 ESG 개념으로 해서 뭔가를 하겠다고 하는 것도 있었고, 그 다음에 여기 보면 이게 전주더라고요. 그 전주에서는 이제 그린하우스 가스를 이 시 전체에서 어떻게 절약하느냐 하는 거하고, 이제 저는 이제 한국의 그 저 같이 생각하는 분하고 이제 영환군을 좀 이걸 해보려고 하고 있고, 좀 프로젝트 파이낸싱도 좀 글로벌하게 하려고 하는 거가 지금 제가 갖고 있는 생각입니다. 그래서 제가 이거 스크린 쉐어는 끝내고요. 예, 지금부터 질문하시거나 뭐 의견을 제시하시면 됩니다. 예.
네, 안녕하세요. 저 시버리 솔루션스 정하림이라고 합니다.
아, 예, 예.
네, 안녕하세요, 박사님. 네, 저 두 가지 정도 질문이 있는데,
예.
한 가지는 ESG가 메타버스랑 연결돼서 어떤 식으로 기업에서 활용되는지 좀 구체적으로 한번 말씀 주세요.
기업에서 활용되는 거는 지금
네.
아까 얘기한 대로 뭐냐면은 이게 ESG라는 거를 두 가지 측면에서 봐야 되는데요. 그러니까
네.
ESG라는 거는 서스테너빌리티에 우리가 얘기하는 분류거든요. 그러니까
네.
지속 가능성이라는 건 뭘 지속 가능성을 갈 거냐라는 거에서 우리는 ESG를 선택한 거잖아요. 그래서 E는
네.
환경에 대한 지속 가능성, 그다음에
네.
우리가 사회에 대한 지속 가능성, 그다음에 이제 회사의 지배 구조에 대한 지속 가능성, 이렇게 세 개가 가겠다는 것이 ESG죠. 그죠?
네.
근데 그 중에서 이제 현재에서 메타버스가 가장 그 기업에서 쓸 수 있는 부분은 제가 아까 얘기한 대로 이제 디지털 트윈이라든가 여러 가지 다른 디지털 기술들이 합쳐가지고 그 기업에서의 공장에서의 만약에 그 탄소가스 배출을 줄이기 위해서는 그 공장을 갖다가 메타버스화 해가지고 거기서 모든 뭐 센서나 이런 걸 통해 가지고 리얼타임으로 똑같은 메타버스를 만들어서 거기서 이제 시뮬레이션하고 관리하고 그런 걸 갖다가 다시 이제 현실 세계에다 반영하는 그런 것들을 할 수가 있는 거죠. 그게 이제 그런 게 이제 가장 기업에 쓸 수 있는 거고, 그다음에 산업적인 측면에서 아까 제가 얘기한 대로 뭐냐면 이제 뭐 어떤 그 뭐 전기 시스템 같은 것도 할 때 이제 뭐 리니어블 에너지 시스템 같은 것도 관리할 때 보면 굉장히 관리가 힘들거든요. 우리가 그 리니어블 에너지가 이게 그러니까 우리가 얘기하는 화력이나 원자력 발전보다 힘든 게 컨트롤하기가 굉장히 힘들어요. 그래서 그런 컨트롤하는 거 자체를 메타버스화 해가지고 그거를 컨트롤하고, 그 다음에 이제 전력 공급에 대해 공급 라인들이 있죠. 그런 서플라이 체인 같은 것들도 우리 매니지먼트 할 적에 이제 메타버스 갖고 쓸 수 있는 건데, 이제 저는 이제 그거를 제가 생각하는 메타버스, 이제 그거를 우리가 메타버스를 그러니까 우리가 그 ESG 쪽을 생각하는 사람들이 두 분류가 있다고 제가 설명을 했잖아요. 한 분류는 뭐냐면은요. 그러니까 이 사람들은 기술 혁신에 대해서는 전혀 모르는 사람, 그러니까 관심이 없다는 게 몰라요. 그러니까 무슨 얘기냐면 우리가 탄소 중립을 얘기하는데 두 사람들이 다른 얘기를 하고 있는 거예요. 무슨 얘기냐면 막 ESG 리포팅하고 이런 사람들이 있어요. 기업에서 보면 ESG 뭐 미국에는 ESG Sustainability 뭐 매니저 무슨 어쩌지 이런 타이틀 갖고 있는 사람, 이 사람들 뭐냐면은요. 데이터를 받아가지고 정리해서 리포팅하고 이런 사람들이에요. 이런 사람들은 이제 되게 상대하는 사람들이 뭐냐면은 뭐 규제기관 상대에서 우리가 뭐 ESG 하는 사람들 잘 아는 뭐 SASB로 했다, 뭐 GRI로 했다, 뭐 이제 뭐 환경에서는 TCIF로 했다, 뭐 이런 보고서 국제규격, 한국도 이제 한국 국제규격하고 뭐 이런 거 한다고 하는데, 그런 거 보고서에 들어가는 데이터를 하는 거예요. 데이터를 모아야 돼. 근데 그 데이터가 어떻게 제너레이션 됐고 그 데이터가 어떻게 해가지고 실질적으로 그린하우스 이펙트를 줄이게 할 수 있고, 그 다음에 그러한 데이터를 만드는 과정에서의 어떤 기술적인 혁신이 들어가서 이런 그린하우스 가스를 줄일 수 있느냐 하는 그런 기술 혁신에 대한 것들을 이 사람들 몰라요. 그 관심이 없어요, 이런 사람들은. 근데 또 이런 혁신하는 사람들은 ESG 리포팅 이런 매니지먼트 관심 없어요, 이 사람들은. 이 사람들 순수하게 앉아가지고서 그러니까 이 사람들이 자기네가 ESG 한다라는 게 아니고 자기는 기술 혁신을 하는데 지속 가능성을 위해서 기술 혁신을 한다 이거예요. 그러니까 아까 얘기한 대로 공장에 가가지고 스마트 팩토리를 만드는데 내가 AI를 적용해서 여기서 전력 소모를 어떻게 하고 뭐 생산 공정을 어떻게 이피시하게 만들고 이걸 관리하게 해서 어떻게 하면은 이게 뭐 웨이스트, 그러니까 우리가 얘기하는 산업 폐기물을 적게 만들고, 근데 이 사람들은 접근하는 게 뭐 이걸 리포팅하고 데이터 매니지먼트는 관점이 아니고 그냥 기술 자체로 봐서 기술 혁신해가지고 이거를 갖다가 만드는 거예요. 그래서 되게 지금 제가 여태까지 얘기했던 메타버스는 이 기술 혁신 관점에 지금 접목이 돼 있는데 제가 아까 잠깐 보여드렸잖아요. 그 어워드. 그러니까
네.
근데 그게 하나의 예죠. 우리가 사람들한테 그 ESG를 굉장히 사람들한테 현실감 있게 느껴주게 할 수 있는 방법 중에 하나가 이런 메타버스를 만들어서 사람들한테 홍보를 하면 되겠다라는 게 제가 갖고 있는 아이디어고요. 그다음에 제가 최근에 이제 만들고 있는 게 뭐냐면요. ESG 경영하는 쪽 사람들이 굉장히 지금 어려워요. 그리고 제가 아까 보여준 뭐 AI 갖고 뭐 평가고 이런 것들은 다 그 사람들한테 블랙박스인데 제가 이제 제가 이제 컨설팅이나 이런 것들도 이제 해서 이제 뭐 이렇게 좀 방법론을 만들다 보니까 너무 ESG 뭐 평가 그런데 뭐 아시는지 모르겠지만 뭐 한국에 있는 뭐 PwC 뭐 딜러이트 뭔가 그 글로벌 컴퍼니 들어가서 ESG 컨설팅 하는데 솔직히 제 생각으로는 개뿔도 없는데 돈 엄청나게 받아먹고 있거든요. 근데 제 생각에는 너무 어렵게 ESG를 만들어 놓으니까 이 기업에 있는 사람들이 엄두를 못 내는 거예요. 그래서 이제 제가 생각하는 이거 어떻게 하면 쉽게 할 수 있을까? 그래서 저는 이제 제 아이디어 뭐냐면 이거를 우리나라 객관식 좋아하잖아요. 그래서 질문 형식으로 해서 객관식으로 답을 하다 보면 자기네들이 ESG 경영을 어떻게 해야 되고 뭐 이런 거를 할 수 있으면 좋겠다. 그냥 아이디어에. 물론 이걸 만드는데 굉장히 머리가 지금 깨지고 있는데 질문을 잘 만들어야 되고 답을 잘 만들어야 되잖아요. 근데 처음에는 이제 제가 생각했던 게 뭐냐면 이거를 제가 AI 전문인가 이걸 챗봇으로 만들려고 그랬어요. 그래서 이제 챗봇으로 만들면 이제 특허도 낼 수 있어 하니까 이제 제가 하는 컨설팅도 보호가 돼서 이제 이런 Q&A 방식으로 해서 ESG 평가하고 ESG 매니지먼트 하는 걸 하면 기업이 굉장히 웰컴하겠다라고 생각하고 한 거고 그래서 그거를 이제 챗봇으로 만들면 좀 더 오토메이션하게 만들 수 있고 현실적으로 여러 가지 사람들이 와서 사스 서비스 같이 만들면 자기 기업에 대해서 퍼티큘러하게 챗봇하고 커뮤니케이션 하면서 기업의 환경에 맞는 그 우리가 이제 ESG 하면서 머티리얼리티라고 얘기하는데요. 기업에 맞는 중요 요소들의 ESG 요소들만 갖고 이제 하는 건데 그런 것들도 할 수 있겠다고 하다가 이제 제가 ESG 메타버스를 보고 느낀 게 뭐냐 이거를 메타버스로 만들어서 아예 이 기업에 있는 사람들이 여기 메타버스에 와가지고 ESG 경영을 체험하게 만들고 ESG 매니지먼트 하는 것들도 메타버스에 와서 여기서 인터랙티브하게 여기 이제 AI도 챗봇이 들어갈 수 있죠. AI가 들어가서 ESG 전문가가 돼가지고 여기 컨설팅 해주고 하는 것들을 하면 되겠다라는 아직 구상 단계인데 그런 생각을 좀 하고 있어요.
알겠습니다. 하나만 더 여쭤보겠습니다.
예,
아까
예.
그 영암이랑
예.
그 전주에서 했다는 프로젝트를 제가 잠깐 보고 너무 흥미로웠는데 지금 한국에서 했었다는 프로젝트들이 그 두 개 말고도 다양한
이거는 했다는 게 아니고 지금 하겠다는 거기 때문에
아직은 뭐 이행되고 있는
네, 아직은 플래닝 단계고요. 예, 지금
네.
전주는 그냥 그냥 조그만 스케일에서 해봤다라는 리포팅 정도를 제가 이거 놓은 거고요. 그래서
네.
이거는 전체적인 시티와이즈는 아니고 전주에 뭐 스팟을 정해서 해본 정도고 영화 같은 경우에는 저의 한국에 있는 파트너가 이거를 좀 크게 하겠다고 그래서 최근에 좀 일을 벌리고 있는데 이제 처음에는 그냥 스마트 시스 가는 걸 제가 조인해서 그 ESG로 가자라고 얘기했고 저희가 이제 플래닝이 되고 좀 되면은 지금 프로젝트 파이낸싱 해외에서 요새 중동 쪽에 돈이 많아가지고 여기저기에 좀 투자하려고 하는데 저한테 좀 프로젝트 파이낸싱 의뢰가 와서 제가 좀 그 프로젝트 파이낸싱 받아보려고 지금 그림을 이제 시작했다고 보시면 됩니다. 예.
네, 알겠습니다. 국내에서 뭐 다행히 이행되는 프로젝트는 많이 없는 편이죠. 저희도 좀 찾아보고 있긴
그냥
한데.
일반적인 스마트 시티 프로젝트는 많이 있는 걸로 알고 있는데 이렇게 ESG 개념을 이렇게 스페시픽하게 하는 거는 아직 왜냐면 이게 하려면은요 도시 전체를 디지털 트윈을 만들어야 되는데 이 기술이 한국에 그런 기술이 있을런지 모르겠어요. 여기 보니까 여기는 제가 그래서 요 기술하는 핵심 기술하는 그 사람을 최근에 찾아가지고 오늘 네트워킹 했거든요. 그래서 좀 어떻게 하냐고 저도 관심이 있어가지고 그래서 저 굉장히 관심 있는 분야입니다 이거는.
네, 알겠습니다. 감사합니다.
예, 또 질문 있으신가요? 아니면 코멘트라든지 예.
네, 안녕하세요. 저 메타시티 포럼의 이상훈이라고 합니다.
예, 메타시티면은 완전히
오늘 주제가 너무 잘 맞아가지고 너무 인상적으로 들었고요. 일단 뭐 남양주도 그렇고 여기저기에서 이제 메타버스를 도시 행정에 접목하겠다라고 하는 사례들이 조금씩 이제 한국에서 생기고 있어요. 근데 이제 아까 교수님께서 말씀하신 것 중에 유비쿼터스가 흐지부지 됐다. 계획은 굉장히 좋았는데 흐지부지 됐다라고 말씀하셨는데요. 메타버스가 그렇게 되지 않고 실제 도시들에 적용돼서 정말 혁신적인 세상에서 혁신적인 사례들을 만들기 위해서 이것에 이 메타버스에 관심을 갖고 있는 이 한국 도시들이 어떤 것에 가장 주목을 해야 될까요? 현실적인 부분도 괜찮고요. 아니면 어떤 뭐 철학적인 부분, 다양하게 좀 의견을 듣고 싶습니다.
근데 뭐 그거는 뭐 제가 뭐 스페시픽하게 할 수 없고요. 저는 이제 제가 그때 이제 유비쿼터스 하면서 이제 제가 울분에 쌓여가지고 이제 유비쿼터스 이 UCT는 한국 브랜드다. 제가 이제 한국 브랜드라는 얘기를 자꾸 강조한 이유가 저한테 자꾸 시비를 거는 게 시비를 거는 사람들 한국 사람들이었어요. 글로벌에서는 다들 인정하는 거예요. 가서 하면 그러냐. 그러니까 저는 유비쿼터스 시티 갖고서 했는데 한국에서 상 한 번도 못 받았거든요. 제가 뭐 유비쿼터스 포럼은 제가 외국에 가서 상 받았어요. 저하고 전혀 상관없는 나라에 가가지고 유비쿼터스 시티라는 걸 처음 만들어서 했다고. 참 아이러니하죠. 제가 그래서 언론에다가 한 게 뭐냐면 야 이거는 우리나라 브랜드인데 왜 한국에서 인정을 안 하느냐. 이거를 만약에 미국에서 했다 그러면 인정할 거냐. 그러니까 지금 그런 현실인 거죠. 지금 보면 메타버스가 저는 이게 한국 브랜드화 될 수 있다. 물론 이제 기술이라는 게 오리지널이라는 게 뭐 이렇게 가고 저렇게 가면서 한국에서 뭐 특별하게 만들 게 시초는 아니겠지만 메타버스 붐을 일으킨 건 분명히 한국이라고 생각하고 이거를 도시에 접목한다 그러면 분명히 한국이 최초라고 생각이 되거든요. 물론 이제 다른 나라에서도 보면 이러한 그 디지털 트윈 갖고 뭐 상하이라든지 뭐 그러니까 요크라든지 뭐 영국이라든지 이런 데 하고 있지만 우리가 이거를 조직적으로 하는 건 아마 한국이 최초로 될 것 같고요. 자긍심을 가졌으면 좋겠어요. 우리가 하면 되고요. 우리가 하면 전 세계 글로벌 브랜드가 될 수 있다라는 걸 가면 제가 볼 때는요. 제가 이 IoT 같은 경우도 제가 한국에서 이 3월 인터넷 인터넷 오브 띵스라는 얘기를 처음 도입한 사람인데 그 이후에 굉장히 많은 이 IoT 쪽에서도 좀 되고 있어서 기술적으로나 인력적으로나 경험적으로는 저는 한국에서 하는데 무리가 없다고 생각하는데 다만 이런 도시에서 이쪽에서 할 때 그러니까 여기서 그 시에서 할 적에 우리의 나라에서 충분히 할 수 있다라는 걸 좀 자긍심을 갖고 하는 게 가장 중요할 것 같습니다. 그리고 우리의 이 전문가들을 믿고 괜히 외국에 있는 컨설팅 회사 끌어와봐요. 제가 보스턴에 있는데 끌어와봐야 저는 이게 로열도 하는데 여기 로열을 보면은 여기 보스턴 시내에 굉장히 하버보에는 굉장히 비싼 데 있는데 다 오버헤드거든요. 근데 그런 거 물론 장사를 하고 있는 거지만 현실적으로 보면 저는 한국이 충분히 가치가 있다고 생각하고 제가 특허를 분석했잖아요. 한국이 IoT에서 전 세계에서 1위예요. 굉장히 잘하는 나라예요. 네. 그러니까 우리가 잘하는 거는 굉장히 강조를 하고 저는 뭐 지자체가 우리가 할 수 있다라는 걸 믿고 우리 브랜드를 키우는 거에 적극적으로 나서고 이거 뭐 갔는데 뭐 이거 뭐 미국에서 하냐 뭐 이런 얘기 좀 안 했으면 좋겠어요. 우리가 하면 될 수 있다라는 우리 브랜드로 만들자라는 그런 좀 자긍심을 가졌으면 좋겠습니다.
감사합니다. 저기 한 가지만 이 한국어로 지금 나오는 이런 얘기들도 레코딩 클립 제공 가능하신가요?
예, 지금 레코딩 하고 있습니다. 예.
예, 감사합니다.
예, 또 질문 있으신가요?
안녕하세요. 저는 머스트 게임즈라고 중국인의 이제 게임 회사에서 일하는 사람인데요. 네.
패치리시죠?
네, 맞습니다. 네. 아까 잠시 이제 ESG하고 이제 메타버스, DX 이런 쪽 이제 연관된 프로젝트를 사실 저희 회사도 좀 진행을 하고 있어가지고 저희 회사가 이제 사실은 일종의 디지털 트윈 개념의 지구를 이제 표현을 하고 거기서 이제 탄소가 계속 배출되고 있는 지구가 있고 그 탄소 감축을 이제 게임의 목표로 삼아가지고 하는 그런 종류의 게임을 제작하고 있고요. 이 게임이 이제 한국 콘텐츠진흥원에서 이제 기능성 게임 부문에 저희가 이제 선정이 돼서 올해 이제 지원도 받고 뭐 이제 제작을 하고 있는데 이런 이제 환경 주제 게임이 있는 걸 보시고 이제 한국에 있는 어떤 대기업이 이제 저희한테 연락을 주셔서 그 기업이랑 같이 이 기업이 이제 플라스틱을 생산하는 기업인데 플라스틱을 재활용하는 거를 도와주는 그런 이제 게임을 제작하는 것도 또 이제 같이 하고 있어요. 그래서 실제로 이제 재활용을 하고 뭐 바코드를 찍으면 이게 이제 게임 월드에서 보상이 되고 게임 월드 안에 있는 어떤 디지털 그 트윈 개념의 지구가 또 깨끗해지고 이런 거를 서로 이렇게 계속해서 선순환을 일으키는 방식으로 저희가 이제 게임을 제작을 하고 있고, 이게 일종의 이제 이 회사는 제조 기반의 회사지만 뭐 되게 작은 단위에서 어떤 DX를 이런 앱을 통해서 실행을 하고, 그리고 이 회사가 실제로 ESG에 이제 도움이 되는 방식으로 이 앱을 이제 릴리스를 해서 이제 좀 여러 가지로 도움이 되는 방식으로 저희가 진행을 하고 있고, 이런 여러 가지 환경을 주제로 한 게임들을 묶어서 뭐 어떤 공통된 디지털 커런시를 사용하게 한다던가 이런 식으로 큰 이제 생태계를 앞으로 구축해 나가려고 계획을 좀 하고 있고요. 그래서 이제 사실 이제 저희가 진짜 작은 회사 굉장히 막 큰 단위에서 뭐 완전 가상 세계 규모의 어떤 뭐 메타버스를 제작을 한다거나 이런 게 뭐 쉽지는 않지만, 그냥 유저가 실제로 어떤 체험을 하고 그걸 통해서 ESG를 실행할 수 있게 하고 그걸 또 기업이 뒷받침하는 이런 방식으로 작게나마 DX와 이제 ESG 이걸 같이 수행하는 방식들도, 이런 프로젝트들도 진행되고 있는 케이스가 있다. 이런 거를 이제 잠깐 소개를 드리고 싶어서 잠깐 말씀드렸고, 그래서 제가 이 포럼 이제 진행하신다는 얘기 듣고 되게 너무 반갑더라고요. 이제 저 이제 약간 그냥 소박한 마음에서 저희도 이제 게임과 게이미피케이션이라는 것 자체는 이제 사람들의 어떤 행동을 굉장히 이제 강력하게 이제 동인을 촉발시킬 수 있는 그런 어떤 이제 도구인데, 그런 걸 통해서 저희도 환경에 좀 좋은 어떤 실제로 뭐 탄소 감축이라던가 이런 부분에서 기여를 하고 싶어서 이런 프로젝트들을 시작을 했고, 이런 부분에 대해서 이제 관심을 가진 분들이 많이 있다는 게 굉장히 반갑고 감사해가지고 오늘 강의도 되게 잘 듣고 감사드립니다.
굉장히 좋은 시도신 것 같고요. 사실 게임이 주는 거는 사실 펀의 의미가 있잖아요. 그러니까 사실 굉장히 딱딱하잖아요. 그리고
맞아요.
잘 몰라요. 그러니까 미국은 제가 ESG 쪽 이쪽을 하면서 굉장히 전 이제 네트워킹하는 걸 좋아해가지고 전문가들하고 네트워킹을 많이 하는데, 미국은 거의 미국 모든 회사에다 ESG 담당들이 있어요. 큰 기업 같은 경우에는 한 조직이 굉장히 크고요. 그리고 그 급시 그러니까 뭐냐면은 그 ESG를 담당하는, 그러니까 물론 ESG라는 게 아시겠지만 이게 보드 쪽에, 그러니까 탑 이그제큐티브하고 보드 신경을 써야 되니까 그런 정도지만은 이제 그거를 총괄하는 사람의 급이 한국하고 미국하고 틀려요. 이게 미국은 제가 보니까, 제가 최근에 네트워킹한 사람은 이제 아마존에 있는 사람인데, 이 사람은 EVP더라고요. 부사장이더라고요. 그러니까 그리고 아까 그 넷살 시스템 거기 그 한 사람 부사장은 그분도 부사장이에요. 그래서 근데 한국은 아직 그런 급이 아니에요. 부장들이더라고요, 한국은.
근데 이제 저희가 이제 일하고 있는, 그러니까 제가 이제 아직 이게 공식적으로 릴리즈가 되진 않아서 이제 기업 이름을 밝히지 못하는데, 이제 이 회사 같은 경우는 사장, 어쨌든 ESG 조직도 팀 규모가 한 30-40명 정도 되시고, 사장님이 이제 요 프로젝트 진행을 하자라고 이제 하셔가지고 진행이 되고 있는 케이스긴 해서, 그래서 그나마 이게 진행이 되고 있는 것 같고.
한국에서 베스트 프랙티스가 돼야죠. 지금 하시는 거. 그래서 그렇게 이제 회사의 그러니까 공감대를 형성해야 되잖아요. ESG는 사실 어떻게 보면은 ESG가 그 에디셔널한 그 웍이 될 수가 있어요. 왜냐하면은 그 경영을 하려고 하면은 우리가 만약에 이제 우리가 ERP 같은 것도 이제 제가 생각하는 게 뭐냐, ERP에다가 우리가 만약에 이제 뭐 탄소 풋프린트 같은 거 계산하려고 하면 ERP 시스템에 있는 데이터를 다 끌어와야 되거든요. 그거를 정리하고 하는 것도 일이라는 거죠. 근데 기업이라는 게 생리가 그런 걸 위해서 특별하게, 그게 다 코스트이기 때문에 그게 배당을 안 하면 기존에 있는 플러스 이제 워크로드를 걸릴 수가 있거든요. 그래서 그런 것들을 생각하면 이제 공감대, 이게 왜 참여해야 되느냐 공감대를 형성을 해야 되는데, ESG 개념이 굉장히 딱딱하고 재미가 없어요. 보시면.
그래서 ESG 자체를, 그래서 이 회사도 처음에는 굉장히 그냥 무슨 뭐 이제 설문조사 같은 방식으로 막 진행을 하시려고 하다가 이거 자체가 너무 재미가 없다고 판단을 하시니까 게이미피케이션 쪽으로 왔다라고.
그래서 이제 제가 생각하는 게 뭐냐면, 설문조사도 이제 그게 좋은 방법이에요. 왜냐면 되게 보면은 미국에서 보면 설문조사가 대부분이 주관식이에요. 그래서
네네네.
어려워요. 그러니까 물론 설문조사 전에는 뭐냐면 그냥 서술식이 되게 많고요. 뭐 아시겠지만 그 되게 사스비 뭐 이런 것들 보면은 뭐 이러한 그 리포팅 스탠다드 보면은 다 주관식이거든요. 주관식이 아니고
네네네.
서술식이죠. 그냥 알아서 쓰는 거죠, 전문가가. 근데 이제 여기 보면은 좀 임팩트 B라고 하는 데는 이제 객관식으로 해서 좀 저도 가가지고 이제 모의 시험을 한번 봐봤는데 어려워요. 답내기가. 그런데 그래서 그거를 저는 이제 그거를 좀 더 쉽게 만들 수 있고 객관식으로 만드는 걸 생각하다가 아예 지금 요새 지금 똑같은 말씀하신 이걸 그냥 메타버스에 넣어가지고 게임 형식 아까 말씀하신 것처럼 이거를 쉽게 사람들하고 질의응답 처음에 이제 그걸 좀 재밌게 하려고 챗봇으로 하려고 해서 챗봇보다 더 재밌는 게 보니까 메타버스의 아바타를 사용하는 거라는 생각이 들어서 저도
네.
지금 그런 구상을 하는데 사실은 이제 중요한 게 뭐냐면 두 가지 요소죠. 컨텐츠, 그러니까 ES적인 컨텐츠적인 요소, 그게 굉장히 중요하죠. 플러스 이제 그거를 어떻게 메타버스화 하느냐는 거. 그래서 사실 저도 이제 그런 메타버스 하시는 분들하고 한번 콜라보레이션 해서 이걸 만들면 괜찮겠다. 그러니까 전체적인 기업의 산업이나 이런 특성을 봐가지고 퀘스천을 만들고 이거를 아바타가 그걸 설명하고 질의응답해주는 형식으로 가면 굉장히 좋겠다고 생각했는데 먼저 하시는 회사가 있네요. 그래서 굉장히 그런 쪽으로 가시면 좋을 거예요. 그다음에 이제 거기다 뭐 제가 뭐 조언을 드린다 그러면 이제 사람은 이제 그런 펀드 있지만은 인센티브 굉장히 좋아하잖아요.
네네네.
지금 뭐 NFT 같은 것도 보면은 이게 어떻게 보면 인센티브 시스템인데 그런 개념을 도입할 수도 있겠죠. 거기 이제 펀드 플러스 인센티브 해서 뭐 블록체인 개념의 토큰이라든가 뭐 그래서 이쪽에 와가지고 많이 참여를 하고 컨트리뷰션 한 사람들에는 이제 토큰을 줘서 나중에 이게 모니타이제이션 돼가지고 뭐 사장님이 뭐 실적으로 뭐 금일봉을 준다든가 뭐 이런
예. 저희가 기획하고 있는 방향이랑 정확히 일치합니다. 근데 이제 저희가 약간 고민하고 있는 부분이 한국에서 NFT를 이제 전면에 내세운 게이밍은 아직 불법이에요. 사실은
그렇죠.
NFT 자체가 환금성이 있기 때문에 사행성이라고 판단을 해버리거든요. 그래서 이런 부분을 어떻게 이제 풀면 좋을지 그냥 NFT를 발행만 하고 NFT 거래는 어차피 이제 별도 거래소에 가서 거래를 하고 환금하는 방식으로 할지 아니면 뭐 에코 자체를 테마로 한 그냥 토큰을 발행하고 뭐 유통하는 방식으로 갈지 사실은 블록체인 기술이 이제 한국에서 너무 이제 코인이 이제 투기화돼서 좀 인식이 그렇긴 하지만 사실은 블록체인 기술 자체는 탈중앙화의 정신을 구현하는 데 있는 거고 그 정신 때문에 유저들이 경제적 이득을 보기 때문에 굉장히 이 부분에 요새 사람이 많이 몰리고 있는 거기도 하고 앞으로 이제 메타버스가 가야 될 방향이 이쪽에 사실은 있지 않을까라고 저희는 자체적으로 판단을 하고 있고요. 이런 부분 관련
부분인데요. 아까 제가 특허를 보여드렸는데 블록체인은 우리나라가요 거의 뭐 후진국이에요. 이 기술력. 예, 우리가 IT 강국이라고 얘기하는데 이제 그 IT 강국이라는 게 우리 통신 굉장히 잘하고 있고요. 우리가 AI 잘하고 있고 근데 유일하게 IT 쪽에서 블록체인만 후진국이에요. 그게 이제 그런 그 코인 사기 뭐 이런 것 때문에 저도 이렇게 굉장히 저 블록체인 기술 다 개발해보고 막 굉장히 한국에서도 많이 뭐 하고 있었는데 잘하는 사람들이 있어요. 제가 알고 있기로 잘하는 사람들이 있는데 이런 잘하는 사람들이 기지개를 못 피고 있어요. 한국에서. 그래서 그게 좀 안타까운데 그거는 저도 뭐 개인적으로 제가 예전에 정통부 공무원이었기 때문에 공무원들을 잘 아는데 이게 이 사람들이 생각이 바뀔 것 같지는 않고 다만 제가 볼 때는 이제 우리는 잘못한 게 뭐냐면 좀 이 전문가들이 더 나와가지고 목소리를 더 내줬어야 되는데 그걸 못한 게 좀 안타깝다라는 생각이 들거든요. 근데 뭐 하여간에 그 방법은 있을 거예요. 저도 왜냐면 제가 이제 뉴욕주 변호사기도 해서 이제 저 옛날에 제가 블록체인 할 때는 한국에서 뭐 STO, 뭐 ITO 이런 것도 많이 했었거든요. 강의도 하고. 근데 저 NFT도 사실은 이제 NFT 전에 저는 이제 그 DeFi라고 하는 제가 그 전문가거든요. 그래서 그거 특강도 하면 뭐 한국에서도 한 몇백 명씩 들어오고 막 그랬었는데 이제 그것도 안타까운 게 뭐냐면 뭘 하려고 하면 한국에는 다 제한이 되는데 디파이 제가 하나 힌트를 드리면 디파이는 아직 한국에서 이게 어떻게 해야 될지 몰라요. 그래서 잘만 포장을 잘 해보세요. 예. 근데
알겠습니다.
아시고 한국에서 하시려면 그렇게 하고 아니면 이제 기반을 뭐 일단은 허용이 되는 기반으로 하는 것 쪽으로 이제 외국에 가서 뭐 최근에 보니까 그것도 이제 뭐 여러 가지 규제를 하려는데 코인만 아니면 여러 가지 방법이 있을 것 같아요. 그리고 그런 거 잘 아는 제 지인 중에 변호사들도 있으니까요. 한국 변호사들 뭐 원하시면 제가 소개를 해드릴 수도 있고 하니까 뭐 하려고 하면 마음만 먹으면 뭐 못할 게 없겠죠. 이거 뭐 좋은 일인데요. 아니면 뭐 저기 막 그거를 이거 뭐 굉장히 좋은 메타버스 산업 육성해야 되고 그 다음에 이걸 해가지고서 우리가 ESG도 해야 되는데 아니면 규제 샌드박스로 해서 우리 좀 허용해달라고 한번 그 샌드박스 쪽으로 한번 신청을 해보시는 것도 방법일 것 같은데 한번 뭐 도움이 필요하시면은 제가 한번 같이 뭐 거들어 드릴 수도 있고요. 그래서 뭐 나중에 한번 저하고 자세한 얘기 나누시죠.
아유, 예, 알겠습니다. 정말 감사합니다. 네.
예, 또 질문이나 아니면 또 무슨 뭐 코멘트나 이런 거 하실 분 계신가요? 예, 시간이 굉장히 오래 지난 것 같고 이제 지금 한국에 계신 분들도 이제 점심시간 다 되신 것 같아서 제가 오늘 얘기하는 거는 이것으로 마치도록 하고요. 지금 레코딩이 다 되고 있기 때문에 요 레코딩 제가 끄고요.